All right, everybody. Hello and good morning. You'll notice everything behind me is a huge fucking mess as it was the day before and the day before that, but it's because I'm still in the process of moving. Now, we should be ready to go here in a moment. I just want to wait an extra moment because you guys have, if you've been dedicated and watching the channel every day, more power to you. But if you haven't, we've been having some technical hiccups, and it's all been on my internet side. Nothing I can do about it, unfortunately, but I'm basically waiting to see if we're going to have the stream hiccup before the stream goes, like, live. And if it does, then we'll get Zombie up to cover the cast as far as streaming goes. But hopefully and ideally, she shouldn't need to. So, as an unrelated segue, good morning, Zombie Grub. How are you doing today?
Can a segue be unrelated?
It can wait. It can. It could actually be a form of transportation as well.
Oh, you. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing dandy. I'm just sitting here a little bit nerve-wracked waiting to see if the stream dies before it shows our beautiful faces on the broadcast.
Well, while we wait, we can shout out all the subs we got.
Go for it.
All right, then. So, 10 hours ago, I don't think we were streaming, but Samasil subscribed. Navidri as subbed 2 hours ago. Paul SS2 subbed 37 minutes ago. The way out is through. That was confusing. Subscribed.
Whoa.
And Kettlebun Tree subbed for 2 months. Ooh, I see Rifkin did not freeze all the snow that we got. Anybody got all the snow?
We had way too much snow. Like, an ungodly amount of snow.
Okay, then.
Well, hopefully, I'm just watching. Should be coming live here any moment. I'm just waiting for things to go wrong for no reason whatsoever. We have a grand total of 59 dropped frames. Considering most broadcasts we do have 0, it's already unacceptable in my books, but basically what happens is that number jumps up to 117 and then the stream turns off for like a fraction of a second. But looks like we might just be good. So,
Oh my god.
fingers are crossed, knock on wood, throw salt over your shoulder, whatever superstition you believe in. And let's hope the broadcast goes smoothly today. We have 10 maps to play out. We're in the lobby for the first one. I got a note really quick. It sucks to say, but we have axed Blood Boil despite it getting in through popular vote because the map is still, and this blows my mind, still not ready for play. It's like there's been like a week of this. You'd think they would have touched up on the problems by now, but the gases at the third are still untakeable, so we're not going to bother using it here for the finals. At this point, everything left is just for your guys' entertainment. We'll talk a little bit more about Rifkin's rallying call and all that afterwards, but yeah, all the games today, $100 per map win. It's like a mini Shellcraft, I guess, in that way. But you also just get to, you guys voted these guys back. These were popular votes by a pretty large margin, too. I posted the stats on Twitter and on Team Liquid, so you can see just how much these guys won the votes by. But I was surprised, and also not at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think after uThermal's performance yesterday against Snoot, it was like uThermal impressed, but then also what Zerg can he beat? And the natural answer to that is Nerchio. So that's what I figure. I voted for Nerchio.
I'm gonna, how do I go about doing this?
Best of one, and then out of game score, I guess?
I guess. I mean, it's only going to 10, so it's not like we'll have to worry about double digits or anything. We'll just leave it as best of one for now again. It's not a best of one. It's not a best of anything. It is just 10 maps straight up. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are your finalists that you voted back in to play for the $1,000 up for grabs today. $100 per map win. This is sponsored thanks to Blizzard Entertainment. Thank you, Blizzard, for helping make this possible. But in the bottom left, we have the blue Terran player, Team Liquid's uThermal.
In the top right is the red Zerg. It is Nerchio.
All right, so in my books, I want to really believe Nerchio's got this. He dominated uThermal last year. We had a best of 15 maps played, and it was a very one-sided series. But again, for me, it was a good marker of like, that was pretty much the end of uThermal being bad of TvZ, and when he started getting really, really good at Starcraft. Not to say he was bad before, but he obviously struggled in this one particular matchup.
Yeah, he did. He did. I mean, this is going back to, oh man, that huge map, Alterzim Stronghold. Yeah, that's what it was. I remember watching him just beating his head against a wall, trying to do a Hellbat style, because I think Flash was still playing, and that was kind of popular. And it just was like, oh man, this is not working. Like, oh god, everyone swapped over by Woodamines by that point, and he was just having so much trouble. And he was, I think, clearly frustrated. There's some points where he was even kind of griping about the matchup, while everyone else didn't really have a lot to say. But now it seems to be his jam. I don't know, man. His micro has always been his best suit. Like his Reaper control, his Marine control, his splits, they're always very good, but it was like his decision making and a little bit on his macro. And then I guess he's perfected both of those. So we had an amazing best of 7 yesterday, uThermal versus Snoots, where Snoots said that he played a little off. But to be honest, uThermal just looked like he was on point with his micro and his macro, just consistently rallying in. And I don't know. Nerchio says, poor uThermal all the time when we were in the lobby and before the game started.
Well, his Twitter's been shit talking all morning. So, uThermal hasn't been, but his friends have been on his behalf, I suppose. But
yeah, I guess
this
so.
for me is such a cool story. There is a little bit of a rivalry. It's not nearly one of the most notorious ones or notable ones we've had in history of StarCraft, but it's just the fact that this is a year-long rematch that was waiting to happen. And it's a year-long rematch that's on the same type of the game.
Oh.
It's still Legacy of Void. This wasn't like HOTS to Legacy or anything like that. And then take it up to the fact that one of these guys has come really far since then. So this is going to be really cool today. Nerchio's going to get across the map with a lot of lings really early, though. No Bailey nest of any sorts, however. I was just going to drop him, I guess.
I might just be for the faster +1 Carapace. I mean, this would be so fast it would hold against a 2-1-1. But he hasn't actually scouted to know that. Now he has.
Catching a Hellion out in the open wouldn't be too bad either. It's going to be a lot... Okay, I don't know what that was about. It'll be a lot easier to catch 2 Hellions out here than 4 Hellions at your own base, right? So, I mean, having all these things out here preemptively is a little bit odd for certain, but as we see, it is giving good chase to these Hellions. uThermal trying to find a really nice spot to hide. It's not going to be good enough, however. Yeah,
it's just way too few Hellions, but this was a really odd maneuver, so it is going to be for an Overlord drop. Now, he could have made those lings anticipating a Hellion opener as those have become more popular. He could have made an attempt to catch uThermal like, expanding the wrong way, like not taking his in-pocket base. But if uThermal really thinks about it and where those lings were, he might have just been like, oh, wait a minute, Overlord drop.
Well, so this again takes me back a year ago, because if you remember, it was maps like Detox and the other maps. Like Nerchio was the first one to really bust out Overlord drops in general, much less abuse them the way he did. And nowadays, he's a lot more known for Ultralists, Ravagers, and Infestors, of course. But this Overlord wasn't expecting 3 Marines.
Yeah, I think if 2 Marines were there, maybe it does live, but that is a little too bad. But as I was saying, like it did end up being for faster +1 Carapace, right? Like it's like ZVP. You're gonna get the Evolution Chamber, and you might go for a lot of drops. We also might just get the +1 melee, right? So I guess it's same idea. He's going into roaches, so like the armor is gonna be beneficial no matter what he went into.
I'm just thinking about that more. There was some cool merit to that attack though, because you gotta imagine uThermal. You're either playing super scared off of those first lings catching the Hellions, or you've just gone across the map right away. So Nerchio is really hoping that there wouldn't be anything at home to defend, but yeah, to his dismay, there was. Now we do have 2 Hellions skirting up northwards, but with all this creep spread and Overlords and Queens out on the map, I don't think this is going to catch Nerchio off guard.
The Hellions are really a formality. This is something else that the map makers have to fix in like every single map I've noticed. Is like that little jump on the ramp. But anyway, yeah, the 3cc build that we see from uThermal, like, even he did take like 6 SCVs losses from the earlier Overlord drop, wouldn't have really mattered, and yeah, the Hellions are really that formality of just, I need something to protect me while I go for 3cc, and now that it's over with, let's hit the barracks.
Yeah, so all that production's coming in. It's making good use of the very wide open mains that are available on Acolyte. I do want to point out, though, I suppose for anyone who's tuning in today for the first time this week, if you've missed the last 5 or 4 days of map contests, we're probably not going to do a lot of map exploration at this point because we've seen all the maps multiple times. But if you guys are really curious about any of the maps, a lot of our earlier VODs, we actually do make sure to explore each of the maps our first time on them. Yep. Not to mention, these are all available publicly. You can always just log on and look at them too.
Exactly. You just copy the link from the map list on Team Liquid. So this is an expansion, even though it's hidden by a bunch of flowers. There's no extra way to take them or anything like that. It just is decoration. But it makes it look a hatchery look especially weird.
It's weird though because like it's a cool effect to have this sort of pseudo camouflage, right? But it doesn't actually do anything for you. It doesn't stop auto attacks. You can still see it on the mini map. It almost feels like a bug more than a feature, you know?
Yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Yeah. That is enough roaches. If there are any Ravagers, the Thermal might have tried to snipe one or two, but no need for Ravagers quite yet.
Slow and steady wall going back up at uThermal's side of the map. More barracks coming down, a lot more production on the way. I am really curious about this tech lab on the factory though, if he's going to actually start producing from that, or if that's for one of these two barracks that are building. Getting Marauders out, of course, won't be too bad against Nerchio's playstyle. And he does play towards things like Hive Tech, and when he doesn't, he plays very comfortably around Roaches, Ravagers, and most importantly, Infestors.
If you see Roaches from Nerchio, I don't think I've seen a game in like last couple of months where he's not gone for Infestors. Like, who does the Roach Ravager all-in anymore? No one, really. Very old school way to play it. So, just expect the Infestors. I guess try and time out the lack of patching lands and still try and drop every once in a while. But like in 30 seconds, you know, uThermal's drops, every time he drops is going to be in danger of getting fungled. Not to mention, Nerchio has already anticipated the drop areas. I mean, the natural is a gimme, like on any in-pocket base, like Bonnie and whatever. You're going to have Spore Crawlers, turrets, cannons over there. And that's what Nerchio has, and then of course his natural is covered by at least one Spore Crawler. So the drops really shouldn't get out of hand.
Oh, I love leaving one Marine behind, actually, to see when the expansion time comes out.
Yeah, that was nice.
But yeah.
Upgrades are going to be in favor of uThermal. That's what he's going to be waiting for, I think, for his push.
Well, what I'm really excited about, too, to see is that tank production. I thought it was just going to be for, you know, easy-peasy Marauders on that factory, but a bit of an awkward... I guess he'll put a starport on that eventually, maybe, or something. I don't know why he's got the extra reactor right now, but I do like seeing some tank production coming out. I'm just trying to think, really, why would you have this extra...
He probably made one for a barracks, and then... Or, no, the factory, probably. And then realized he didn't want to swap a barracks on a reactor. And then he made 2 tech labs.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. Just, it looks so odd and out of place. But anyways, Ultra's Cavern has begun while this goes on. And Nerchio, you know, he doesn't have a lot of Infestors, but he only needs 1 good fungal.
Yeah, 1 good fungal, and everything is... Well, sold out at least, if not just completely ruined, depending on how good the fungal is. So there's no creep spread over here. And this concave's looking really good. And uThermal's just kind of bullying Nerchio's army back.
Yeah, this is really bad. Nerchio doesn't have those Ultras started. Even if he did, they wouldn't have chitinous plating. And I feel like the lack of Infestors is what's really hurting here. A couple more fungals may have had that fight go a little bit differently, but now on the verge of attack at the base, he's got the siege tank at the bottom of the ramp. Drones are just pulled immediately. Luckily, Nerchio is completing another base as we speak, so he will have somewhere to fall back to, but GG still going to get called, and that is noteworthy. Nerchio throwing down a GG.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that game kind of reminded me of the game versus Hero Marine. Yeah, that's who it was. Where Nerchio had everything kind of going for him like you would expect, and then his ultras were just a little bit too late.
What do you do on my
or
laptop?
in a way, a little bit too early, like depending on how you want to look at it.
So real quick, because this was brought up earlier, this bright glary thing, that's the Partouf bot. That's why it's shining with the light of God, okay? Because this thing is everything. But I've already disassembled my little desk I had for it, and that's packed away. So I can't put it anywhere else. It's on my bed. But that is going to get really annoying for you guys to look at because the camera makes it really bright. So what can I... Oh, are you ready for some sick product placement?
Yes, yes I am.
I still got my case, my new Corsair box. Did I put that in front of it? Does that make it better? It does. Corsair solving all my problems. Nice. Anyways, Nerchio's picked Sequencer for the second map.
Alrighty then.
Alright, let me put this up. I forgot to retweet on my own account from BaseTrade. Whoops. So we are live, and I used the One Punch Man gif. Going ham with it. Anyways, I see some folks in chat asking about why Neeb isn't playing today. It's funny because I had a couple of people message me about this. I'm going to actually say illicit characters who I'm 99% sure were upset that their betting websites were incorrect. And, you know, I don't really condone that stuff, so it's like, I don't give a fuck. But for the fans here who are asking to explain, there was no conventional finals to this. This has been outlined since the very first tournament we ran. This has been in the Team Liquid thread the whole time. Players who competed were incentivized to help show what the maps can do, earn a little bit of cash, and make sure that the map pool is going to look better next season with all this extra practice on it. So, for example, folks like Neeb and everybody who played yesterday, they earned $300. People who made it to the round of 8, they earned $200. And unfortunately, the folks who died in the round of 16 got nothing. But the idea is that this was a 2.5-part tournament. It was 2 different regions showing as many of the maps as we could. So we had the Korean House tournament, we had the Foreigner tournament, and then we had this grand finals match. So I think it's all things considered went very well in my point of view, but I am curious how the fans, I guess, have received it because of the confusing finals. But think of this less of a finals and think of this more as just a once-off show match, if that makes you categorize it any better, guys, because this is just 10 maps straight up, $100 per win, and starting off with $100 in the top right, taking that game number 1. It's the red Team Liquid player, uThermal.
The bottom left was the blue Zerg. He is a Nerchio.
Alright, Sequencer is actually a map that was, I think, pretty favored by a lot of the players, surprisingly. I know you and I were rather offset by it, but this was picked rather frequently. Players didn't have anything negative to say about it, although we did see a lot of negativity towards other maps through this contest. I guess that's kind of the interesting thing about this. There's levels of degree for how this is received. On one hand, you get the positive things. Like someone can say, oh, that's a great map. And that's rarely ever said by anybody. Then you've got, this map's not so bad. And that's said by a good majority of the people. But what we don't show you guys on stream is the extreme amount of dislike, negativity, and frustration with some of the maps. And that is a more common thing than not, unfortunately. So Sequencer, I didn't see much negativity towards at all from the players. And this seemed to be a pretty well-received map.
Yeah, it is normal enough that there's not really a huge thought process about where to take your bases or how to attack, but I still think there's some obnoxious points about it.
Well, I'm wondering, because we haven't seen enough of this to know, but for example, yeah, there's the low yield, quote unquote, third. I'm more curious on whether the gas affects some races more than others. Again, like Terran might not take this gas at all, whereas Protoss and Zerg need every single one they can get their hands on.
Yeah. And it's also going to come down to like a safety versus not safety thing.
Yeah.
Because really, I think you can take the third base not so bad. Like we saw the Protoss do it yesterday, but it's, it would be safe to take it here. We got a couple of resubs, bits, and all that, though. So thank you to Doven Wolf for the 100 bits. Tap 100, one punch.
One punch!
Hey, HS Timer. His timer. Resub for 11 months. Running of Dreams. Resub for 40 months. Someone set us up the bomb.
We get signal. All your base belong to us.
Oh, is that what it's kind of sounded where it was? Wired 1. Resub for 25 months. And I think he got killed once.
40 months is a long time,
I got
though.
it.
I just got to throw that out there. Like, we're in the 4-0s now, Zombie Grub.
We're old. We're over the hill. They're gonna start giving us mugs of jokes about our sagging limbs and shit.
That drone, like, popped a wheelie and never came down after it got hit by the grenade until one of the guys. That was amazing.
They get a wardy for the 13-month resub.
Oh, hang on. Before you read his message, I'm going to guess it has something about uThermal in it.
It is uThermal's memes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, his emoticons. There you go. No, I was going to say, I know uThermal and Wardy are pretty tight, and guess we'll be cheering for uThermals. Not too surprising.
Yeah. Alright, so uThermal is going to go for the Raven addition to his Hellion build, which he has done before, and even against Snoot. It didn't really work out that well against Snoot.
I don't think there's a lot of downsides to the Raven, though. It's the Hellions that always make me question when people open like this. I do want to note, though, just some interesting contrasts. It's a little bit too early, we're 1 game into 10 to say, like, who's looking better, who's looking worse. But that first game really did feel like it caught Nerchio off guard. Or maybe Nerchio just misread the situation. Either way, it's just really funny to watch something where we've got Nerchio versus Beyond in like a crazy epic show match that Nerchio wins pretty dominantly. And then we could have a situation where uThermal ends up beating Nerchio, so you're kind of like, process of elimination. I guess uThermal's better than Beyond.
Yes.
That's not
Not
how
process
that
of
works.
elimination. It's process. It's like the
Oh, sorry, not elimination. It's like that thing where you eat the heart of your enemy. You
yeah,
gain their courage.
transference or whatever, right? Like rule
Well,
of transference or something.
Hellbat attack en route, but it's not going to be mech behind this. We do have stim packs started up for uThermal back at home.
Yeah.
But this is a substantial amount of Hellions, and it is kind of cool to see the Raven paired up with this opposed to the medevac. Again, this Raven goes to the main. It drops 1 auto turret, and it can kill like 4 to 5 drones. And if Nerchio's not paying attention because he's busy defending against this Hellbat attack...
Yeah, he could lose 10 drones even. Like an extreme number. And he's actually focused on the queen, so never mind. But still, a drone and a queen, there you go.
He's already got enough energy almost for another auto turret. Meanwhile, the roaches do pull back. Hellbat's starting to get a little bit split up. A couple go for that mineral line while this goes on. One gets distracted with the queens.
Oh yeah, roaches don't stand a chance against all that splash.
Splash damage feels good, man, but the transfuses feel better. And uThermal's attack will fall a little bit flat. He doesn't really get a lot for it.
It's about as flat as it did versus Snoot, to be honest. Like, Snoot had also gone for roaches in that game, I believe, and had enough to cover okay, and then the Ravens didn't actually surprise him enough. The good thing about the Raven, though, not just like the high damage it has that can quickly kill drones, is that, like, unlike a Liberator that maybe you have to reposition as they reposition their spore crawlers, the Raven just gets out of there, you know, like shift click and out, so you don't have to really pay attention to it.
That's true, and I like the benefit of the Raven possibly just saving scans and cleaning up creep later too. Like, there's a lot of pluses to this, but I guess resources lost are about even after the attack. I think the most scary thing that comes out of that, though, is uThermal, when he attacked, he did confirm that the layer was already done. So for him, I'm sure there's a couple of questions going through his head, and this is what the Raven's trying to determine right now is, first off, is there a third, and is it saturated? Because that'll tell him whether he's got to worry for this big all-in coming out of Nerchio or not.
Yeah.
Viking might actually be the one that ends up scouting it, as the Raven doesn't quite get in.
Yeah, again, it's kind of like, do I really have to? Like, yeah, obviously getting the scout in is better than not, but usually Nerchio is not going to go for the aggressive play. Well, not this early anyways. Maybe he'll all in with the infestors if he sees an opportunity, but...
I agree that he's not the type of player to, like, callously all in, but if he sees an opportunity, he'll be the one to seize it too. So I don't know, like, I think it's better to know what Nerchio's doing than guess, is probably the best way I'd phrase that.
Sure. The Raven actually ends up being pretty useful if you can save it. I think that last time he did this build, he did not end up saving it, and it kind of felt really lame. But there's some other Terran that had a Raven build too, like BCQ or someone, and they had the Raven with them for clearing up creep, and it was actually very, very useful. They even scouted the and burrowed infestors, which everyone's doing nowadays, and that was also very useful. So the tanks could actually try and focus fire on them as opposed to letting them get away.
I also, I just, I know it's not going to happen because auto turrets are so much better. I just want to see like a total queen denial. Go with that drop, throw PDD down and say, yeah, target fire my bad advice. Bring it on.
It's not a bad idea either.
It's so expensive though. A point defense drone, I feel like I'm really sad that they shortened the lifespan on it so hardcore. It was necessary, however, but I do wish it was like reduced in energy cost to compensate because, well, rip the Raven.
You get a queen for it.
Yeah, you can totally kill a queen for it if she stays in range, but now you gotta walk away.
Yeah. So, fourth base, uThermal is going to try maybe once more to get a drop in. I guess he's pre-splitting. He kind of wants him to waste fungals, I guess. But it's gone back to that point of, like, you're going to have to do a main push, and that's going to be it.
Kudos to this almost dead Viking, by the way. Up to 4 kills on it. Not too bad.
Not too shabby at all. This is why, like, he did know the infestors were out. He had pre-split, but he decides not to even try and test the fungals.
Oh, this is interesting. This is also very risky. He kind of does like a stop off on his retreat to pick off some of the creep tumors. I risk getting fungal, and if he did, he'd lose the medevacs. I mean, for uThermal right now, another scan towards the main. Interesting to see he scans the main, actually, because he knows all the attacks over here. Oh,
maybe not the Ultra Cavern to go in the main, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, he did see the infestation pit, but he's not seen the hive. And this is, all things considered, a fairly quick hive. I mean, 8 minutes is not exactly standard.
He is just going to assume.
Yeah,
that
Ghost Academy. I like this, though.
Again.
This is what's awesome about this matchup, though. Because these two have played, like, the thing is, there's just really not as many players in StarCraft as there used to be. So they, as a consequence, have played each other so many times in so many different tournaments. And not to mention ladder play. Like, I'm going to guess it's safe to say as well, like, uThermal could probably be one of the few people that could blindly play against Nerchio, where a lot of people cannot.
I really think so. And if we ever get to the smaller maps and some were voted in, like he's probably gonna just assume that Nerchio did like an early roach rowing, for instance, because like he's been mixing that in whenever there's a smaller maps. But uThermal intentionally scouted with his medevac, which is kind of cool, the Ultralist Cavern, because he saw the hive and dipped in, I think checking for a spire potential, and then dipped right back out. I'm not sure if it lived or not. It did live. Hey, look at that.
Hey.
But anyway, so he now knows for sure that's ultras. But honestly, like, going for ghosts isn't a bad way either.
Yeah.
Option.
I mean, even if you're not getting snipes for ultras, EMPs on the infestors aren't going to be too bad either. He's going to get some nice shots, though. The fungal growth, though, make that bio so soft.
That was scary. If there was a follow-up fungal,
Yeah.
but luckily there wasn't. I think both are okay with the way that engagement happened. Nerchio got 3 tanks. A handful of bio, and then uThermal got like a couple dozen roaches, I want to say. So it stalled his momentum. He's not able to do a push, but I'm not really sure he was able to do much with his push anyway. Ultras are already on the way. Chitinous plating. It's a big map. You'd have to clear up creep first. Probably would have wanted to wait for his ghosts. uThermal has the 4th base on the way. I mean, uThermal's like I think 7 times out of 10 random number here would go for like the 3 base all in push, just like keep on pushing, hope that he wins. But that's one of the good things lately about uThermal in the last like 6 months, I would say, is that he has learned to play to a longer game and not just be that guy. So he knows how to play with a 4th base and like ghost and kind of turtle it up. And more like what we saw from Hero Marine, maybe, Those are some pretty good late games from him.
Well, this drop, unfortunately, finds an Ultralisk waiting for him. As he continues to try and fly around the sides of the map, I mean, the concern is there are some ghosts. They're going to get a couple of snipes for sure. In fact, might even be able to get some here while the ultras are stuck against the wall, but that is still a lot of Zerg to deal with. And that reminder, ghost snipes get canceled if they take any damage, so does pick up one of the ultralists to begin with. Not bad.
I think Nerchio was really surprised to see the ghost ready.
Yeah.
Didn't see the Ghost Academy, and he saw no ghosts when he ran up the ramp at first, and the ghosts were just like suddenly there.
Well, I thought for sure seeing maps like this, we'd see a lot more emphasis on things like Liberators and otherwise. And that's why I thought Nerchio's playstyle was going to be so good against any Terrans he would have seen in this tournament, right? Like, okay, someone tries to set up Liberator over the ramp, but then you've got Ravagers, because that's how Nerchio plays. So uThermal not going like conventional anti-Ultralisk means and going back to old school Ghosts, I really like this choice.
Yeah. I really wonder why Liberators became... Well, I guess because Liberators help out versus Roaches and Infestors too, in case they haven't gotten Ultras, I don't know. But, like, Ghosts answer both.
Whoa.
And they're always nicer to have in higher numbers. And if you get to a Supreme late game TvZ, it's usually more about the 20 Ghosts than it is about the 10 Liberators. I gotta
say, I would imagine the reason it became so much standard is that they're a lot easier to use. You set them and you forget them. Ghosts do take a considerable amount of micro.
Yeah, I do think Ghosts take more micro. I agree with that. Plus, I think they're just harder to make too. I would say they're a little more expensive.
Oh, they're not fun to make because of the tech lab requirement, much less anything else.
In the tech lab, yeah, exactly.
But okay, it's a decent base snipe.
Yeah, and there was a bit of harassment in the bottom right that we caught the tail end of, and here we go again. This is another low yield base for those that don't remember.
A YOLO yield, yeah, got it.
A YOLO yield.
Hey, Prognosticator, thank you for that 3-month resub. This is Rifkin and me, and the ZG makes 3 tonight. Dude, Prognosticator, I've been reading your Twitter lately. You use too many big words. I gotta like bust out a thesaurus and a dictionary to follow you on Twitter, man. But thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate it.
Broodlords are on the way.
This is... It's an interesting choice because on one hand, like they're still going to be susceptible to ghosts the same way Ultralisk will, but the difference is...
Snipe it.
He is going to go for the focus. I think this is a great suicide move to go for if you have to.
I think so. Like, even if you lost both medevacs, the Marines are just not an issue anymore. You know, they're banking, minerals, reactors. Marines are no problem, so get rid of those. Medevacs are a little more important.
So the thing I think is interesting about this, though, is, like, right now, it's actually going to... Nerchio has to hop through hoops to actually reach the ghosts, to hit them with anything to cancel the snipes. Broodlings? Okay, they're going to help reach the ghosts a little bit better, but more importantly, they're going to make those tanks totally unusable. The friendly fire element's just going to be too insane.
Yeah. And while uThermal hasn't built many more tanks, despite getting another factory, they are still something to note, especially if they start to fire the
Oh, these blanket fungals, though. They missed the ghosts, so the ghosts get those snipes. He's now stuck behind a wall of Marines, and the ghosts live untouched, undamaged. A lot of energy, a lot of snipes still ready to go.
Yeah, they kind of helped make a cemented wall of bio in front of the ghosts. by fungling them. So that ended up being a nice attack by uThermal, or defense force attack, whatever you want to call it. And Nerchio's got to find another direction to come in. Now this is where Sequencer it's kind of cool, is that you're going to have a lot of pathways to take note of, and if your ghosts are safely in the back, they're really not that safe.
Well, especially if Nerchio sets up pincer moves like this. I like the idea of what he's trying to do, and this is low ground too, so it's going to be a little bit less fun for uThermal to deal with, but I mean, Nerchio is in a very weird spot. He doesn't actually have any minerals, so giving away lings is not as easy as you can normally justify. It's got a lot of gas. So, like, honestly, losing the ultras might be a little bit easier than the lings, all things considered. But the banelings roll in. They meet a lot of marauders, though. Marauders get to protecting them. But the ghost! Oh, they clumped up in the last second! Oh, no!
They did. But they didn't have many other barriers to go to, so it's good that he picked him up. He's still got to save him, though, get away from those corruptors while trying to save some of his bio.
I got about 6 of them out alive. Nerchio takes a really good fight, though.
Yes.
And I guess to remind people, ghosts aren't light. They don't take bonus damage from banelings. That was just a lot of banelings.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the purpose of the banelings. If they hit the marauders, it's like a total waste. Even if they kill the marauders, if the ghost's still alive, not so great. But if the ghosts, and they do naturally clump up, they get on top of the ghost, that it's totally worth the 20 banelings.
Yeah, ghosts are little anorexic sons of guns. Really skinny, really easy to clump. As he falls back once again, though, SCVs are pulled into the tanking mess. Oh, it's because he's transferring them. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, I probably should just
GG.
backed off. GG.
GG. All right, not bad for Nerchio. Brings it back 1-1 already in the series. Showing that he can play a macro game for sure. Of course, overall score isn't going to be too relevant to anything other than payouts and bragging rights. Again, it's $100 per map win. There's no additional money outside of that. They do both retain the money that they earned prior to this. So, for example, uThermal starts off this with like $300 or something because of his placement beforehand. I think Nerchio has 200, if I recall. Or did he get knocked out by Neeb? Oh, he got knocked out by Neeb right away. Oh, yeah. Nerchio actually comes into. I didn't realize. I just assumed he had done better than he did because it's Nerchio. Nerchio actually starts this tournament off then with $0. So he's 100 in. uThermal's at about 400 in now. That's interesting. Anyways, thank you to Boss Jew for the new sub. Glad to have you on board. We're gonna go to a commercial break, and we'll see you guys in 2 minutes with game number 3. All right, folks, we're back. We're actually going to be loading into Huangson for game number 3, so that'll be kind of interesting. This map for me has a lot of cool history to it. A lot of maps don't. Like, no disrespect to the map makers, but they're just another map to me. Whereas this map I know had a bit of pro influence, so it makes it really cool as far as like what the potential is, what the results could be like, and like was this foreseen by the people making it. We can go, by the way, if they're ready. But yeah, just again, that announcement that the 10 maps announced on Team Liquid, we did have to remove Blood Boil from that map pool. So you will not see Blood Boil played today due to the fact that the map makers left the third base still broken. So we are just going to be cycling through it. Like when this goes to game 10, I shouldn't say if, this will go to game 10. And when it does, they'll just be able to pick any of the other maps. Also, big thank you to Nerchio for testing it once again to check. He was the one to let me know this morning that it may have still been an issue. But we get into game number 3. Things have already been tied up 1-1. Some pretty good, straightforward games out of both players. In the top right, we got the blue Terran from Team Liquid, uThermal.
In the bottom left is the red Zerg. It is Nerchio.
And we just got hit up with a Twitch Prime sub 2 months back to back coming from Natsness. Bam! Thank you very much. Alright, so I talked about the history on this map. You guys have heard me mention this before if you've been watching the tournament, but for those who might just be tuning in, Snoot, as in Team Liquid Snoot, actually had a pretty large hand in making this map. He worked with another popular map maker named Avex, who has several maps submitted to the TLMC, and they made this map together. The first iteration of it, we actually even had a small tournament where players played for a small cash prize, but they tested the map for Snoot and Avex. Honestly, it was a pretty cool incentive, and I'd love to see that come from others, whether it's pros getting involved with map makers or map makers begging pros to help them make a map. I think it did create a cool map, but it had its problems. They've since been fixed. There used to be this really awful ramp in the back of your base. There were some graphical errors with the water. Now I'd say the only issue is the sand's a little bit too bright, but I mean, that's kind of...
Yeah. It's already been mellowed down, actually. It was a lot brighter when we first loaded into the map a week ago.
Oh, have they already fixed it? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Something that Snoot even noted yesterday with the pylon thing. He's like, that's too bad because the sand had been fixed or something like that.
Oh, right. I forgot. We tried to load in and there was like pylons placed here and here for some reason. That's
yeah,
right.
and Avex immediately fixed it, but we still went to another map, so whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, this is a cool map and I like it. And the thing that is normally for me, when I look at a lot of the maps we see for the new maps submitted every season, is like I immediately go to thirds. I'm a gross player who likes to turtle up, play 3-4 bases, right? So I look at the thirds on this map, and initially they're a little bit jarring, but truth be told, I don't think either are going to be too difficult to take, much less hold on to.
They're protected, right? Like even if it's a bit far and kind of like around your natural, so like your army has to kind of go in an awkward position, they're protected by the rocks, they're protected by small enough chokes to the left side that you really only are worrying about the center point of your natural in thirds, so it's not so bad. I still would be a little uncomfortable, but only if I was playing Protoss or something.
Well, I think it does get hard the later the game goes on, though, because there are these rocks that can be broken down. It suddenly makes this a much more open base, or down here you can close off a path. Again, I love when you can terraform the map, and it does actually change it. Not significantly, but again, like you knock down this rock tower, suddenly this base is a lot more appealing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Nerchio goes for what I want to say is a pretty quick Roach Warren. I know he's been getting quicker Roach Warrens and has had Roaches deal with early attacks, but it still feels kind of quick. uThermal is changing things up and going for a 2-on-1 as opposed to any factory-based play.
Yeah, Reaper getting some okay scouting, but it doesn't quite get up to the main, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's already making the Roaches.
I gotta say, it's been a while. I'm still not used to the orbital completing message. And I don't know, it's so jarring to me.
Yeah. The Reaper definitely needs to get in here, though. Like, the lack of third should be suspicious right about now. We're just like, wait a second, this is later than normal. But he hasn't checked it and is only seeing Lings, unfortunately, scaring away the Reaper. So, this is bad. Nerchio is going to have a fairly strong push. Now, if uThermal can see it coming because they attack the supply depots and run his SCVs and Marines in the main base, it might be okay because he has decent production with, 2 barracks. He must have seen some... Oh, he saw it with the Zanaga, of course. The Zanaga's right there. So, yeah, immediately it goes into at least good production.
I like the Cyclone
I'm surprised
choice.
he's trying to... Okay, I was going to say, I was surprised he's trying to save his natural. I think it's much smarter just to give up that one.
Yeah, I really like the Cyclones for this. It's going to make this a lot more manageable, but at the end of the day, this out of Nerchio can be so deadly. This can kill Terran players so easily if handled incorrectly.
So even though he can't lift the supply depot when it goes down, I mean, it's still a decent choke. Cyclone pops out. Sim is still on the way, and that should not be canceled.
He's also dodged most of the corrosive biles. There's been very little complacency. Like, uThermal has been very careful with his control. 9 SCVs dead doesn't look great, but it is actually... Could have been much worse.
The Cyclones go down.
Oh, target the Ravager egg, please. There we go. Nice.
Yeah, there we go. This has been held very well. Now, this isn't a 3cc build, so 9 workers is something to talk about. But, even as Nerchio tries to hurry up and get drones back in, he's missing a third base, and he's only up by 7 drones with the last couple coming out. Like, that's not really enough against 2 mules. uThermal held really well.
Yeah. If he had kept that second Cyclone alive, he could have actually potentially even countered. I think right now, though, he is going to stay at home until he's got a few more units out. Stim did finish, so he's got a little bit more fighting power in him. And this Reaper is actually going to see that small army still in the middle of the map.
Yeah. I mean, generally, the Reaper doesn't have much to scout after this type of attack, because the assumption is they're going to go for a third base.
Right, but that's great. He scouts to see that there is no third base.
Yeah. They usually aren't going to follow up with another all-in, just because, Stim medevacs are going to be too much, especially since he didn't kill any of the army. But yeah, it is a lair instead, which I think might be the smarter move. This way, Nerchio, I mean, eventually he's going to get a third base. He's not going to knight us all in, I don't think. But for now, at least he doesn't have to worry about being dropped in different locations, because that's the immediate response from most Terran players is to drop after being all in. And these drops will be powerful. They have Stim, they're going to have combat shields. They're missing upgrades, but so is Nerchio.
Yeah, Nerchio's going to see this coming too, so it's not going to be like he's sitting there just pumping out 9 drones. Like, right now, he should be thinking army value. He should be thinking positioning. Queens are going to be really helpful too if he can snipe this off. He doesn't have that many, however, which kind of sucks. Only the 2.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're missing a ton of tools that Zerg usually has in the early game by doing that attack. So Nerchio should be sweating a little bit. Now, he smart engagements, good corrosive biles, good focus fire on the Queens you do have. Like, he could hold. uThermal's not an unbeatable army.
I love that he dives through the corrosive vials instead of backing away from them, though. It's gonna hurt him a little bit through those lanes, but oh, he gets the Ravagers in the backside. Nicely done.
The trade here is still gonna be good for uThermal. Nerchio is only just getting his 3rd base, and he's really hoping that he'd have the same units basically for a very long time. If you just focus on killing the hatchery and maybe getting a couple of drones, you might inadvertently like make it okay for them because they just keep the army they have. But this ends up being an okay trade. He's gonna continue pushing that point too. He's got 1/1 upgrades on the way, so he'll be ahead in upgrades and a 3rd CC already.
I will say Nerchio's hold so far has been pretty solid. I think that counter, just the ferocity in which it hit, and the fact that he wasn't playing scared with it, that probably kills a lot of other Zergs. Nerchio keeping it calm and cool for the time being. There are a decent amount of roaches, but I don't know if they can hold up to this.
I don't think so. I mean, they really need Ravagers to at least force
I like
some
that
type
cancel.
of,
I really like that
and...
cancel.
Yeah, but this is just piling on bad things. This one carapace is almost done. But uThermal is just, he really didn't have that much of a gap in his play, like a minute, and then it was back to normal. So production's all finishing up here, and sure, you can play it safe and just, you took out some of the army, you took out the 3rd base, you can wait. You can also just try and abuse the Roach Ravager aspect and continue just dropping. Okay, well that wasn't supposed to happen, but that's okay. Only 1 corrosive vial.
Yeah, there's actually still quite a few units here. I'm actually worried the Ravagers might get focus fire down again. I was gonna pick up and get out of there instead. This is a little bit scary. The base being here like this does present this option where it's really easy for uThermal to just maneuver up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah, and that was not a big enough army left behind, especially since uThermal has 1/1. No cancel right there. Just hopping back and forth while his macro is still going underway. uThermal has now exceeded that work account of Nerchio, which is not so good. He did not start his 2/2 upgrades, which is a little bit late. That's the only thing though.
Yeah, Liberators managed to get over here in the meantime. Nerchio does have corrosive vials to possibly push them off, but this is going to tap out. He took a lot of damage to a very failed early attack. GG. uThermal takes game number 3.
Yep. Make it a Usiba Legend. Usiba Legend.
Yeah, actually, we had quite a few resubs during that game. We got a little bit hectic, so we couldn't quite talk about it, but we had Efferfez, new sub, join us just now. Thank you very much. Usiba Legend, Lester McGee, and Istiet for the resubs, who says, love the new maps, and then with awesome players like this. Yeah, this is, I mean, we love map contests, guys. We'd actually contemplated throwing one ourselves if Blizzard wasn't going to do it again, but Blizzard did. They contacted us. That's why this is sponsored by Blizzard. And thanks to their help, we're able to create this really cool prize pool. I guess to let you guys know how it works, Blizzard comes to us for things like this, and they give us an idea of like a budget and a goal of like what they want done. And last year, there's like a lot of control over us. We didn't have a lot of breathing room, and there's some minor drama caused by this, but it's not a big deal. This year we got a lot of freedom, and we got to experiment with this cool new format that I think helps spread the money out better too. So like we had a Korean tournament for $1,000. We had the foreigner tournament for $2,000. We got this finals for $8,000. Like it really let us divvy up the money and spread it out. So it's not so much like, okay, I have to just all in to win every map. Because for the last like 3 years, every Team Liquid map contest prior to his retirement, they were like all won by parting, just doing Blink Stalker all-ins on every single map. That didn't test any of the maps at all. That just showed us the Blink Stalkers needed to be fucking nerfed, right? Like, or parting needed to be nerfed, either way. So I'm really happy with the way this one went, from at least an organizational standpoint. Did you just invite me to a party? What is this, your first day on StarCraft and hosting games?
Look, okay, you had joined the game while I was inviting you, so I'm gonna give you one option.
All right.
I clicked it. Oh, God.
Curious Passage for map number 4. That was Curious Passage was actually not too bad of a map. We saw a lot of cool macro games on it. I didn't think the golds would get used the way they did, but we got to see folks for like no regret just take the golds to all in, to folks like Snoot who went super macro style with the golds on this map.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Nerchio is gonna play more akin to Snoot.
Well, just a side note too about map creation, going back on the fact that, you know, Snoot had his hand in that game and all this. I would love to see like a map maker take a map, make their iteration of it, then pass it off to Terran player to review, and they say change this, change that. So they change that. Then they take that to a Zerg player and cycle this around 4 or 5 times and see what that final map looks like and if it's any good. Or if it is just something where like we do need some maps that are a little bit more favoritized. Yeah, Frankenstein. You could call the map Frankenstein.
Yeah, you could.
That would actually be a great map. I would fund that project. Oh,
it's exactly like that movie, Vampire versus Frankenstein's daughter.
Oh hell no, Zombie Grub. You just go ahead and stop.
She took all the most important parts.
All right, well, we are in game number 4, and in the bottom right, he's won $200 so far. Not too bad for this guy, uThermal.
In top left is the red Zerg. It is a Nerchio. We had a new sub.
Oh, did we?
A Dobsy 85.
Nice. Welcome on board. Welcome to the Base Trade Brigade. We got some people commenting on my room. Again, for those who missed it at the start of stream, I'm moving in 2 days from now. In fact, I'm going to be gone for the entire weekend, so I probably won't be able to squeeze in any secret streams or anything like that. But everything's a mess because I've had to tear everything apart and pack it up and wash it and then tear it apart and repack it because it didn't fit the first time.
It sucks.
I've actually never had problems like, packing for leaving to go to an event or an extended stay elsewhere. I've never had to pack things like my action figures or Lego or collectible stuff. Like it's actually really weird because I've been so paranoid about it. So I've been wrapping everything in like combination of like newspaper and my clothes.
Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, that'll work. I think my mom would not love for me to move out, but she probably would love the Tetris aspect. Like, she fucking loves Tetris, man. Like, we're like, they have too many groceries, you come home, the refrigerator's stocked, and she's like, I got this, and she like rearranges it.
Play the music, Grub.
Yeah, she loves it, man. That's one part.
She like ties the hairband like around her head too. She's just like ready to go. All right, well, this map was kind of cool, as we pointed out. It's a little bit unique in the terms of like just how blocked off the central was. Now, I got a lot of criticism and feedback on me saying this in the previous cast, but I want to really kind of expand on that thought a little bit because it's not the first map to have no entrance through the middle, but it's also got no real accessible ones on the side either. Like you go up north and it's fully blocked off with these destructible rocks. Otherwise, you got to take this horribly narrow hallway, Zelnaga, whatever high gas. Can't speak English. And then downside, you can also knock down the rocks. Like this is a map where you could actually make it. So the only ways to tack through if you're not flying are the extreme bottom and the extreme top. And for that's what I mean when I talk about this map not really having a middle. And I think that's really cool.
I'm surprised people gave you grief for that one. Yeah.
It was a fair point though, because there have been other, like the way I was phrasing it made it sound like this was the first map in all of StarCraft 2's history to not have a middle of the map. And it's a fair point.
Okay. No, I didn't get that from listening to you cast, but I guess I'm biased. Do I ever really listen to you when you cast? I guess not.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, apparently. They get a Plymouth.
Plymouth? It's
not Plymouth Rock.
I thought that was Plymouth Rock. Either way, 26 months is a long time. We're glad to have you on board. But yeah. BaseTradeTV, would you fund the Frankenstein project? This is coming from Kentuva, who is a map maker.
See you.
And I would, actually. I would absolutely, if not fund it directly, but like host some tournament around it. Like I said, push that off. I was really happy when we had Detox. Was it 2 or 3 seasons ago? We were using it in our own map pool. Sure, it wasn't part of the ladder, but it created some, I will say, I still stand by this. I think Detox created some of the best games that we got to see. And it was really unfortunate that it didn't make it through the contest, but it was really fun that we were able to use it for our own events.
Yeah, I like Detox. Made a lot of good games. I think he did Corrupt Pancake for the 26-month resub. He was a vampire.
Nope. Looks like nothing to me.
That's right, you can't see your own reflection.
I was making a Westworld reference. Don't high five yourself. God damn it, woman. You're like an anti-high five. Jesus. Anyways, Nerchio is once again going for roaches. This is not so surprising. But one of the things that I will note that I'm noticing more and more through each of these games, and even in the ones where Nerchio has won, like uThermal's aggression, I think, plays well into this. Maybe this is something where it's not that Nerchio's roaches don't work, but rather Nerchio shouldn't I'm not gonna say shouldn't. I guess it's wrong to say it like that. But like I feel like going to Hive is becoming a problem for him, where maybe he played better on layer tech with more infestors, more roaches type thing.
Oh, it's so hard to play layer tech in that long on that style. It really seems to be the timing of his ultras. Like that first game that he lost, his ultras were on the way, but they weren't out. So that was both in a way too early and too late. Like too early because you invested in it, but too late because they weren't out yet.
Schrodinger's cat, like.
Yeah, sure. And then he almost, I would say that he kind of had a possibility of losing that game that he won on Sequencer.
Yo, I gotta point out, I'm sorry, Nerchio's quick reaction there was so sick. You guys might not realize what he did, but he was taking the low health roaches and turning them into the Ravager eggs, and this like drops threat to auto attack. So unless uThermal's like targeting them relentlessly with right clicks, you're not gonna kill it. And one of the roaches actually lived to become a Ravager through that, which was really cool to see. He almost got 2.
Yeah. That was cool micro, for sure. Anyways, my point, like, it's still the capability of losing, even though we did get the ultras, because this is something that uThermal, of course, has learned to predict after a certain point in time and had ghosts, which might happen on this game again, because this map is so big. uThermal might just play to the 4th base, and then you push, and then you don't mind if it doesn't work out type deal. Whereas a couple other maps, he really tried to push the 3 base, like win with the 3 base, or die trying, literally.
Well, we got a couple attacks set up on 2 different sides, and Nerchio's going to be stuck between them. Now, I know you had mentioned a little bit, I don't even know how seriously, playing a little bit more Snoot style. I do kind of wish we'd see more Queens out of Nerchio. The thing is, like, once he's got Infestors paired up with the Ravagers, he's so good at knocking Medivacs out of the sky. But it's very clear here in the early game, with such limited anti-air, he is struggling a little bit to deal with these Medivacs. So uThermal's constantly getting away with picking up and dropping, picking up and dropping. Goes to their main, drop down to the 3rd type thing. So I do like seeing more Queens out of him. I think the anti-air was a huge necessity and a big part of what he was missing.
Yeah. I guess instead of having 5 extra Queens, he does have maybe a handful more Lings, or maybe gets to a higher drone count a little bit more.
Ooh. That's an odd misclick, I gotta say.
Yeah, very odd.
Nerchio's fingers are flying all over the keyboard, guys. He is like crazy APM, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway, so he doesn't have the 9 queens, which also means that every queen loss is extra brutal, and any creep loss is also something that he's gonna have a tough time replacing.
Well, actually, one thing I'm noticing really quick here through 2 drops now is the fact that he would have to he has to actively spread creep in his main if he wants to respond to these drops. Like, that's actually a bit of an annoyance on the map portion of this. Like, the main is too wide for creep spread to comfortably cover it.
He did think about that, because sometimes Zerg players, they get that extra queen, the 3rd queen, and they plan to creep tumor in their main. So, yeah, he just didn't think about it initially.
Well, I mean, I didn't expect it to be such a big problem. I didn't think he did either, but regardless, continuing to drop around the sides of the map. We got Liberators heading towards that main now. No Spore Crawler. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, Nerchio realizes his mistake. Nerchio is kind of making a lot of mistakes, to be honest. I mean, this is also kudos to uThermal for being so aggressive and making these mistakes. And while I don't want to say like Nerchio is making so many mistakes, he's obviously lost this game. It's things that we've seen Nerchio do no problem before.
Yeah, things that feel like they should be second nature to him. Like, it's not that we're trying to be hypercritical of Nerchio per se, but it is like, again, watching him stomp, and I'm gonna say stomp, someone like Beyond with similar styles, and watching Flounder versus uThermal is so weird to me. Like, that just, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little hypercritical, sure. Like, no Spurk on the main base, fired!
Hyperbolic.
It is a little unusual.
Oh, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, it's a little bit off. Oh, he catches it with the last one, so never mind. Now, of course, he doesn't know that there's nothing in that medevac, but he just annihilated uThermal's attack force.
Yeah. The Liberator was cleaned up in the natural, by the way. It had moved over, so it really only got like 6 drone kills, I think.
Yeah, a lot of sport
2 sport colors make a lot of sense in the natural. Stop the drops from there. But uThermal, let's see here. What has he done? He is getting to 2-2. He's got extra barracks, not a 4th base. So really pushing hard on the 3 base style play here. Might backfire.
Well, they create some interesting SimCity here too. I'll talk more on that in a moment. We do have Hive on the way for Nerchio while all of this goes on. I actually don't think there's much use in him pushing. If his Infestors had energy, then I'd say, yeah, go for it. But he's actually squeezed himself out of that really narrow choke and put himself in a pretty open and honestly maybe dangerous area. I actually don't like him being on this side of the map like this.
Oh yeah, it's very dangerous. But he must have figured that uThermal's not going to drop anymore. And he does have a bit of creep threat and Overlord control that is to see that's not really the case too. As I say, that one drop comes in, but it cleaned it. Ultras are on the way, but uThermal is getting ready to push. So this once again might be that bit too late of an Ultraless Cavern, where maybe having tried to reach a little more like greedily for it might have been the better move. We'll see. uThermal is going to be pushing through, and there are a lot of chokes that these infestors are still going to hold him up on. Or not, or just going to take the biggest area that uThermal can get. Uh-oh.
The infestors all get focused on very quickly, and Nerchio just completely out of position, gets punished for it. I mean, again, kudos to uThermal, but Nerchio's going to keep going for the attack. I guess uThermal thought he had fully retreated. It's not the case, so storming into the natural base. It's not even a wall off.
That's frustrating. Oh, bye-bye +3. That sucks.
Well,
but uThermal, I think he should continue with the aggression that he has. Like, the lack of infestors is a really big deal. Ultras are on the way. They won't have chitinous plating, but maybe if uThermal splits up enough, this will be effective.
Well, get your Ace 1s and Ace 2s out, guys. We are officially in base trade territory. He's killing a lot of SCVs, and uThermal's economy is going to take a huge nosedive off the back end of this. And Nerchio's got a lot of what-ifs, because, okay, whatever for the Ultras, they are spawning like out of position.
Yeah, that's bad for Nerchio. 3 Ultras go down, no infestors to help him out. Nerchio might have taken down the 3rd base, but he did not take down the main or the natural. I think uThermal's got this, even if the chitinous plating finishes for the Ultras, but we'll see.
I mean, chitinous plating and Ultras are pretty good, and uThermal's forces are pretty split. I like that he kept some of these Ravagers kind of banked in the back, too. The big thing will be coming in with those Ultras and then Corrosive Biling on top of the tanks. Lane's doing what they can, are forced to retreat finally, and uThermal takes control of his natural, or excuse me, his 3rd, but Nerchio might be ready to make that desperate attack here.
Okay. Well, chitinous plating finally finished, but even the Queen with Transfuse has gone down, and the tanks are still helping a little bit against the Ultras. Might bring one side, but not the other, and then trapped. Pick up.
Yeah, this ends up not going too badly for Nerchio. I'm really surprised he took such a one-sided fight there, but uThermal, the danger of rallying is coming through these chokes. Just put 2 Ultras on the other end of this and kill everything infinitely.
I would say uThermal took an okay fight for being surrounded. Like, he focus fired the Ultras, and they actually died. Well, they didn't survive through it.
I would agree with you if he didn't have such a hard stop in his production. Like, there weren't mules dropped until just this moment. A lot of the SCVs, like, never got over here to the 3rd. So...
yeah, I guess. I would say that he was actually producing this entire time. Like, he's still up 40 army supply. So, I don't know. The infestors are on the way for Nerchio, though, and that's...
I like the infestors for this a lot. I think the cost efficiency of energy is going to pay off well when you're this struggling for cash. As he does try and get his bases back up, I mean, he is going to be expanding to golds, which will be hugely helpful.
That is a good point, where uThermal... Well, uThermal could lift his main. Hasn't thought about that quite yet. Getting Liberators, because I don't think affording Ghosts is going to happen anytime soon. And Nerchio can't really afford a Spire either, so Liberators would be a good move.
Oh, does he not have Pathogen Glands? Oh, that's unfortunate. I just realized, I'm like, oh, I could have fungled. Oh, wait, he can't.
No!
Oh, no. Misses that one.
That was very close.
All right, so all things considered, like, where are these guys at for bases, right? Nerchio had to retake his 3rd, second to gold at the 4th. uThermal, I guess, can lift some of his bases around, but he's pretty much mined out of the main and the natural, so he's relying on one base economy. I don't know how long that'll carry through for him. Also, it's really unfortunate Nerchio's not able to take control of this choke. This would be the best place to fight a Terran.
Yeah, tried to at the last second. Got a couple of medevacs there, not bad, but even the siege tank in that choke actually helps uThermal. And he's pushing through.
The high ground's actually a little bit of a surprise, but that one Ultra takes care of it very nicely on the left. Right side, though, is a little bit too good, and he falls back once again. Corrosive Bile's going to try and catch some of the army, but really, Nerchio's just waiting for the reinforcements.
One more tester.
I will say...
Fire in the Ultras.
Corrosive Bile's going to hit the tanks. That's really nice, actually. But the problem is now there's nothing left to really hit the Liberators. Corrosive Biles are the only thing that are going to be shooting up at this point. As the ground army is cleaned up, there's just nothing. One queen. One solitary queen trying her best.
Yeah, well, she did a pretty good job. She actually pushes through, and some of that certainly was the problem of the choke here. It wasn't the hallway. It was that he tried to get out of the hallway and then get backed up against the walls. So he really had no room to maneuver.
So
Nerchio holds strong.
There's actually something really big going on behind this. He only just restarted his +3. I kind of forgot both of the engineering base got taken down. So Nerchio's +3 Carapace has actually been playing wonders for him here. Not just on the Ultras, which obviously are the most heavily armored units, but just generally on all these units, not taking damage from lack of +3 weapons.
Yeah. Nerchio is taking a bit of a lead now.
Huh.
Has to cancel that base.
What do you think about him trying to expand over here opposed to the other gold?
I don't know. He might just be hoping that uThermal like doesn't have good enough drops at this point, and like if he does get pushed on this side, then he can just transfer to the left side. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, the nice thing about a gold base is you don't need a lot of drones to make it work, and unfortunately, the one gold Nerchio did take was the low yield one. Quick reminder that these only have 6 mineral patches, so it's not that great of a base. It's this one I was really looking towards him taking.
Yeah, uThermal is gonna have a bit of trouble taking his base. Hasn't cleaned up the overlords. It's an extra 20 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, and that's a nice denial at a Nerchio too, because it doesn't take much.
It's gonna see what the army is, so if he sees them kind of out of position like this, he can try and get them.
Pulls back those legs. Doesn't want to give uThermal too much for free. Liberators do set up here, so that's the gold base shut down once again. And Nerchio, I don't know, like he doesn't have the money to invest in a Spire, but like if he could, like one Corruptor would do wonders.
I think in this situation, because we see this situation somewhat commonly, sometimes I really do feel like waiting 200-200 is worth, even for only 2 Corruptors. Sometimes it seems like that would have been the difference between holding against a Terran's, you know, multi-pronged harassment and dying.
Oh, this is funny. I mean, these Lings don't have Adrenal glands, so it's whatever. They also they're not well upgraded in general. But there's nothing to kill here. Like, he runs in, and all the SCVs were already transferred long ago.
Oh, he's not killing them. They're gonna break down some body bows.
And if we get on top of the tech labs, then that becomes a real headache to deal with. But it looks like he should be able to hold this. This base got canceled, though, and this is huge because uThermal knows this base is getting shut down, and Nerchio is probably hurting for money and hurting for cash just as bad as uThermal is.
Not just as bad.
What's really funny, actually, is neither player is even able to, like, 200-200. Like, they're both missing depots and overlords. That's how scrappy and low econ this has been.
Yeah. Now that uThermal has the gold base, I guess it'll look a little more even on the income.
Well, again, I don't know, because this is a low yield gold. I don't know how big of a deal this really is.
Well, until he had it, he was mining off of half of a third, so...
That's true. Something's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah. Nerchio is still winning, especially since he now has a gold and the regular minerals that were in the middle, which I'm glad that he remembered is there.
Oh, man. I'll say this, though. We talk about it, we praise it all the time.
Oh, my God.
uThermal's micro has been so good dancing around these ultras.
Well, seriously, the abuse of the Aiur here, and I'm looking most at the Liberator, even though the medevac micro is also really good, is going to either tilt Nerchio so hard he loses or just make him lose. Like, this is the real scary part here.
Jeez, he traded out for like 3 ultras and a lot of legs. Like, okay, this is finally
getting cleaned up. Infestor. Yeah, definitely. Get 2 infestors for that.
Oh my God.
Nice.
I gotta imagine. I know we're saying like the phrase sweating a lot when it comes referring to players, but I'm just wondering how straight up stressed these guys are feeling right now. Like, Nerchio feels like he's really just falling apart, whereas uThermal's kind of just dancing. He's having a good time.
He's getting his ground, you know, but there have been no real engagements, and that's where Nerchio is probably going to look a lot better, especially since uThermal has to reposition tanks that were, been siege up at his 4th for a long time. He's going to lose this base, but he's going to try to target fire some infestors.
He's got burrow. There, I was going to say, I'd be surprised if those went down for free like that, but the infested Terrans are kind of an interesting notion to leave behind. I think you want to catch the command center if it lifted.
Oh no! The tanks got caught by Lings. Oh, they were kind of important.
Oh, well, yeah, that on top of the fact there's nothing to stop these SCVs from going down off that very necessary gold base.
You might be able to save him with a couple of drag-along units, but he's looking to kill a bunch of ultras in his main. That looks really tempting, but there's so many other things going on. I think uThermal is just... he's in too spread apart.
Yeah, the ultras killing the production is already bad enough. Having your income cut off, too, equally bad. uThermal is seriously dropping to almost no mineral income. He's on 1 mineral patch. Mining, that's it.
Oh, he's still going to lose it, I think. I think it's going to burn down.
Yeah, likely. Meanwhile, all of his forces have been directed to the main to deal with these ultras. Not worth it because it's going to cost him all of his other bases. His +3 armor is going to get denied through this too. Nerchio has done a great job recovering and retaliating, and I really thought this was going to be a game 4 in uThermal's favor. But now I'm on Team Nerchio, like, without a doubt. This is just too much.
For sure. Lings do sometimes end up being the greatest problem for late game TvZ. And Nerchio, he barely held on. Got his bases back up, had a better army, and uThermal is going to tap out.
I love this. This going back and forth the way it has 2-2 already is nice. This is again, this is a story. This is a 1-year rematch in the waiting to happen type thing. Again, if you guys didn't tune in last year, maybe you only just started watching Base Trade in between. We hosted this same style of a tournament. We had a best of 15, all 15 maps played. Same sort of gimmick, same sort of idea. But Nerchio like just destroyed uThermal. Like it didn't even look like a fair fight type thing. So it is just amazing and awesome to see uThermal has stepped it, like over the last year. This is that measurement, right? Like if you had to measure the success of a player in one particular matchup, this is that measurement. And uThermal went from down here to like right up here with Nerchio, and these guys are toe to toe. But it's been 2 games, so we are going to squeeze in a commercial break. Do stick with us. We'll be back for Game 5 shortly. And again, reminder and big thank you to Blizzard for sponsoring this tournament and making this happen. All right, folks, we're back. Someone in chat asking, who's that angel glowing on the left side of the screen? Well, you? Seeing as I'm on the left side of the screen, my name's Rifkin. It's nice to meet you.
Hey.
Yeah, I actually mentioned it to Zombie Girl before we started the cast. She's got this glow to her. Like, if you guys remember when her webcam was bugged out like last year, it should look like she was in a straight up soap opera for like the longest time.
Yeah. I really need to get blackout curtains.
Yeah. Anyways, we continue on with this 10-map finals. Here in game number 5, things have been tied up 2-2, and both of these players are looking fan-frickin-tastic. But we end up on Hunger Game, and in the bottom south side of the map, we've got the blue Terran, uThermal.
In its opposition is the red Zerg. It is Nerchio.
So playtime in chat. I actually want to talk about this guy for a moment. First off, he asked, why are there no commercials during the commercial break for me? And it's because you've got Twitch Prime, as Zombie answered. For those who don't know, if you use Twitch Turbo or Twitch Prime, you don't get ads. Yay! But it gets better because we actually get money as if you did get ads. So that like half of a penny or whatever, no, let's be realistic, it's like a tenth of a penny you would have generated through an ad, we still get, which is great. But playtime, I'm going to out you for being a cheeky little bugger here. I love to go through our broadcasts at the end of streams, and usually the day after, and I'll look at clips people took and highlight moments, and it shows us clips that other people took of our channel as well. And Playtime actually went through to highlight the moment where we called him out for breaking the Ace Elude chain. And that thing had like 120 views on it, so either he watched it 120 times, so proud of being a cheeky little shit, or he shared it with his friends to gloat about how much of a cheeky little shit he is. Either way, Playtime, you get our Scumbag of the Day award, man. Congratulations. Big love.
Way to go. What an award. All right, so this is really weird. First of all, Hunger Game is a map that we aren't truly a fan of, but I can see it having being voted over some of the other maps that are available.
Yeah.
So that's why it's here. But Nerchio is just going to go, what? And take his natural at the base that some other Zergs, like Snoots, thought wouldn't be a good third base, much less a natural. So this is really weird.
Well, so even if the map design didn't have weird gimmicks like the back base and golds, what is really interesting is we saw this really exemplified with Denver and Bly, where, oh, nice pickoff. This gap between the two bases might just simply be too much to try and cover. Like, we've had this on maps like Echo and others where, like, okay, the idea of this gap is there. Oh, this is going to rip. Oh, build cancel, nice!
Well, I still find it very odd that he took the base. But also, I thought maybe it'd be, like, hidden for a while, and then he transfers drones.
Here's my thoughts on this, right? uThermal is just as likely, if not more likely, as any other Terran player to do 3-Rax Reaper. And I feel like there's a lot of danger to taking this base 3-Rax Reaper because they can just put their barracks, like, say, up here, and then pick going left or right, and the Zerg can't do anything about it.
Whoa, that would be a very odd build. I mean, I kind of see where you're going, but I don't know how often that would happen.
I'm not saying that's what influences. Nerchio is actually the one Zerg player who will take his thirds over naturals more consistently than any other Zerg player. I'm just saying, like, I've seen hypotheticals for danger on this map.
This just seems like it's so bad, because what if he didn't proxy the racks, he just went for regular racks, and now you have this really long space between your main and your natural that queens can't get to. That's why he's had the trouble against this Reaper to begin with. And, like, your drone transfer is going to take forever, so of course the Reaper's going to be like, oh, hey, like, you know, drones. Like, I don't really know, man. I thought maybe there had to be something to do with the Roach Warren that Nerchio got, because he got it so early. Like, this is going to be a a trick where you don't scout it, so you're not sure what I'm doing, and I'm not going to drone it, and then I go with roaches, but that wasn't the case either. So I don't even, it's just a macro attempt. Roach Warren was canceled, by the way, so he decided he didn't need it, or decided the plan wasn't going to work, I don't know, now he's getting it.
In the middle.
Yeah, okay. What is happening? Why?
Nerchio is truly pushing boundaries here as I'm up today.
Yeah, right?
It's going to have this Cerebrate effect, you see? It's like a single player mission. This is the goal of what you want to kill, but you'll be so busy distracted with the outlying bases you'll never get to it.
Oh, I thought you were going to go like, it's the Kerrigan egg, they have to protect things and go nowhere. I'm like, god damn it.
Same difference.
Or whatever. They get a Kudoso for the Twitch Prime sub.
Hey, glad to have you on board.
Now
this is what I talked about as well, being another possibility for the map, where it's pretty easy to just... Usually, the Overlord elevator move is so powerful because it doesn't get seen. And this is going to be the same sort of logic here. Where uThermal, he's put a depot out here to scout if something runs his way. I love this. Oh, this is a beautiful touch. Mwah. But still, the point is, like, this is going to be Lings running in, and uThermal might not see it coming. However, he is busy applying some pressure on Nerchio's side of the map. Ugh.
Not going to go for the snipe. He would have lost Marines, and the chance fuses would have been there. So,
uThermal's clicking on that depot, by the way. Like, he knew what was up.
He did know what was up. You should just wall off. There's just some situations where it's like, well, what else are you doing with supply depots?
You should just wall off, like this giant
No, like, listen, okay, this is what Flash started doing. It's like the one great contribution that Flash made to Starcraft 2, I'm gonna be honest, he wasn't that great otherwise, is he just was like, I'm not using my supply depots for anything else, I'm gonna wall off the entire third of Akalon Waste, which if you remember was extreme. But he did it because what else are you gonna do with your supply depots? Except put them in a safe place. But hey, okay, sometimes it's worth walling it off.
Got some discussion about clips going in chat too after that shout out. So just a general PSA, by the way, if you guys ever have like this one moment in a game you thought was super cool, you want to post it on Reddit or share it with Facebook or your friends or whatever, you can actually go back in VODs and click on it from there, which is great. And it's a lot easier to edit that way too. But then Set Guitarist, the Kill mentions he accidentally makes a lot of clips. Dude, I accidentally hit the clip button trying to hit full screen more often than not. I have so many useless clips.
Really?
I'm a lazy clicker. I don't know what to tell you. Isn't it reflected by my mech playstyle?
I've clipped one thing in my life, and it was the Attack of the Show thing. I was
God.
so proud because I was like, "There's a clip feature," and I like remembered in time. I was so proud of myself. That was a gross moment. Anyway, I guess Nerchio is trying to play this kind of like Bonnie or some other map where the fourth base is not going to be super safe, theoretically.
I mean, I think uThermal had to be taken a little bit aback there, and he's just like, why is there no hatchery in the top right? Like, what?
Yeah,
should have been something for me to
drop
kill.
There. Yeah. That's going to take away double upgrades, if that was Nerchio's plan. So he has not been upgrading for a while.
Medevac is focused now. Marine's going to take out that queen, though. Another one falls. Roach is a little bit late to the party, and the Medevac, oh, she's going to sail away.
Hates to be those Marines. 1-1's almost done for uThermal. He is taking his third base in what might be the more logical third. We just don't know yet. It's right there next to your reinforcements, and you can have your tank kind of covering your third too, which is like what I really like about uThermal's third. But it's not protected by a ledge or anything. So that's the downside. I don't know.
Medevac, quickest pickup of all time to get out of there. Alright, so Nerchio has taken unconventional bases. It's weird because, like, I almost want to say bad bases, but really the map doesn't have established bases, so it might actually be better to be taking these versus these. I just don't like this one because it's the same problem. You drop on the low ground, you pick up on the high ground, and repeat and repeat and repeat. It can be really abusive, or looks like it could be abusive. Kind of like on Huangxin earlier in the series.
Well, this one also, like, everything can feel abusive on this map. Like, these ledges, you pop up and hop down to a safe location. I mean, it's not another base, but it's a safe location. Or you bring tanks here eventually, because, you know, Terrans have a lot of medevacs, teams up all over the place, right? Or you let them fully unload without even seeing it, because there's the one problem with this back alleyway, is that you can't have scouting on it. Like, if you get the overlords over there, they'll die.
Oh, yeah.
There's no open space for them to just chill out and be like, I see you, and you can't do anything about it. So that's why I thought Snoot took that base that he did when he played on this map, and then he even kind of emphasized the creep spread a little bit more on it.
Yeah, I guess if Nerchio could afford to get some of the creep spread on that low ground, that'd be helpful for sure. But this empty medevac was like a little bit of sick bait, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
It did waste an infester's fungal growth.
Yeah. Yeah, uThermal just continuing to drop. He's got 2-2 on the way, but still a ways off. And Nerchio will still have at least a +2 Carapace, which seems to be consistent in all the games. He'll get the Carapace upgrades, a lot of emphasis on them, but then he'll just stay at the attack upgrade level 1 and not feel too worse for wear. uThermal goes for a pretty quick 4th. I guess not feeling the 2-2 timing. Creep spread in the middle of the map has been the one thing that's been neglected. So uThermal is gonna just have to deal with it now. At least he kills the live creep tumor.
Yeah, I'll clean up some more of that too with that scan. Meanwhile, Nerchio's army, again, I can't even believe this Roach War and he got away with this, right? Like, this is such a weird thing to look at. But meanwhile, like, his upgrades might not look phenomenal. The emphasis goes on Carapace as he moves towards Hive Tech, and we're likely going to see him try to get Ultras again. It was very clear after that last game, if no other game, that Nerchio can play this style, lose with it in the early game, but as long as he can get his macro and his Hive Tech going, can still come back to win the game. But he's actually got quite a few units out. He's anticipating more of these drops to the backside, so he's got units out here ready to chase this down, ready to protect this base that he's expanding to. And I guess the nice thing is, like, having taken this base first, ideally this would mine out very quickly, and you wouldn't have to worry about protecting it the later the game goes. But he put his infestation pit here, so I'm just kind of like, WTF.
Right. Nerchio is still feeling the burn of all of these drops, though. I mean, he's lost queens, he's lost drones, and really, uThermal's only lost marines.
Oh, that was
well, a couple more medevacs.
Kill some of his roaches too. That's a little awkward.
uThermal has this really strong push down the middle of, you know, more army supply, ults on the way, upgrade at the head of Nerchio with tanks.
There's actually not that many medevacs, and if Nerchio had like 2 more fungal growths, he would wreck this army. This is not enough to heal the stim, much less the medevacs, but he's pulling the drones into it. It's already gotten a little out of hand, and uThermal's just running away with this fight. Drones got pulled, this got bad. Roach Ward's gonna die. GG with a smiley face. Cheeky, cheeky. All right, so game number 5 will go in favor of uThermal. People, again, joining us on the chat who may not have been here as the multiple times we've gone over it. This is not a best of anything. This is 10 maps played straight up. And every single map is worth $100 per win. The best way I can kind of allude to that, if it makes it easier to understand, is it's like Shoutcraft, but without the King of the Hill aspect to it. It's just the same 2 players over and over. And again, this is kind of cool because Nerchio had won actually $0 in prize money through this tournament. However, uThermal, he had already gotten $300 from placements prior to this, so each of them are just adding on to, well, for Nerchio earning anything, but for uThermal just adding on to his already existing prize pool.
Yeah.
But, nope. Yeah, they just asked, or got Take TV, I guess they missed the memo when we talked about it in chat earlier. Blood Boil's been removed because it's unplayable, and we don't want to fuss with it.
Right.
But so the remaining maps at this point are Ascension to Aiur, Paradisia, which we'll be hopping into next, Wind Waker, and Paradise Lost. At game number 10, we'll just refresh it, and one of the maps will get used twice. I mean, the biggest thing about this is, like, we're trying to show you guys the maps, every map possible, the best maps, the ones we want to see on the ladder, and I guess as we get closer to the end of it, I'll bring this up more, but again, I really want to make like this rallying cry, so to speak. A lot of the times, these contests wrap up and it's just silence. You know, there's the people out there who don't have Starcraft accounts. They just like watching Starcraft. That's fine. You have people who don't have Twitch accounts. They like just watching the stream. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. But if you've got it in you to take that extra second, like if a Reddit thread gets made, if a bad decision is had, like we really need to make our voices as a community heard about the maps, because Blizzard listens to that. Like, I really can't emphasize how big of a deal you guys can actually impact if you come together to say, like, look, Blizzard, please, God, I don't care if blank won the map contest, don't put this on the ladder map pool. Or alternatively, like, hey, we saw Paradise Lost didn't win, but we wish it was there. Like, that sort of logic to it. So again, this isn't anarchy. It's not a call for chaos. but it is a call for you guys to speak up and make your voices heard, because it's going to be important.
What would be anarchy in the online world?
Anarchy would be like if I'm like...
What is it too far for you, Rifkin?
Anarchy for me in this context would be like if you just fuck all these maps, guys. Let's hate Blizzard. They give us $4,000 for a tournament. We hate all the maps. Like, don't go that way with it.
Right.
Don't go that way with it. Anyways,
okay, so that... Gotcha.
Game number 6. It is 3-2 in the favor of this gentleman in the bottom right. $300 in his pocket. So far, it's uThermal.
The top left is the red Zerg. He is Nerchio. And we have a new community update, Rifkin.
Oh.
Brand new.
Like
1 hour ago. Brand new. Do you want to hear what it is? Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it?
If I had to guess, it's probably just something with the Hydralisk health because they keep...
Yes, that is one of them. Do you want to guess the other two? Huh?
Oh, there's more?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the last time they talked about the Corruptor, right? Did they actually
Okay.
update that at all, or?
Yep, nailed it. Nailed it. What's the last one?
Oh, what was it? It was something really stupid for Terran. They already screwed Liberators.
You're
What
so close.
What am I versus Protoss, right?
Nice. Well done, sir.
All right, what are the changes? Hit me up.
Yeah, splash damage, shield plus shield bonus reduced from 40 to 25. Hydralisk health increased from 80 to 90.
Eh.
Corruptor speed changed from 4.1 like, blah 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 to 4.7. Acceleration speed changed from 3.6 to 4.2. Holy shit, they're gonna be so fast. And the Parasit's 4 weapon damage point changed from 1.1193 to 0.0446. Oh, so they reduced the damage.
Here's what I hate about this, though, right? Blizzard's answer to fixing a lot of things is just give it more speed.
Speed.
Oh, medevacs aren't that great? Give them a boost. Oracles are dying too easy? Speed them the hell up. Oh, the Warp Prism gets caught by Vikings? No, not anymore.
Okay, look, sir, the Oracle had no excuse. They're just like, hey guys, we kind of like the Oracle, let's use it more. It was so dumb. Anyways, that Reaper saved itself, which I thought was amazing. Because
that was cool, yeah.
Backward, but the Lings did it across the map, and they were annoying, they did their job. I mean, Ether was going to try and get some revenge by getting another drone with this Reaper that lived too long, but it's not going to happen.
Well, we can talk more about the test. That's just the test map, right? That's not like actual patch notes?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, if those are patch notes, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, and they also talk about maybe looking at Reaper openers and TV.
But actually, so hang on. This thing with the Hydra actually goes right back to what I was saying before, where they actually said in the last update, or maybe it was the one before, but they're like, we don't really know how you guys feel about the Hydras because nobody's saying anything about it, good or bad. And the reality is, there's two realities to this, right? Number one is, as far as I'm aware, nobody actually fucking plays the test map. Nobody does it. It's too annoying to set up. There's no proper cues for it. Like, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
did when it was new and everyone did play it, and then it was very obvious that no one wanted to play it.
Yeah, it was like a good idea in concept, but hasn't been, I guess, followed up well. But followed up by the fact that even if the people who are playing it, they're clearly not saying anything about it. So this health change to the Hydras, I think they're talking about giving like what 10 health or something like that. We have no idea if that'll be good or bad because the people who are testing it aren't making their voices heard about it. And then again, like that's not, you don't have to start chaos and anarchy. You don't have to be a popular 10 million Twitter follower guy, but like a Reddit thread, a post on Team Liquid, like I'm pretty adamant about reading everything, even if it's just small stuff. But I haven't seen anything about this at all. And that's what I'm really worried about happening for the maps. And that's why I'm trying to, I don't know, like it's not social justice, right? But it is something where I want you guys to make a movement.
Starcraft justice. They get a Rabathari.
Oh god. So I'm an SJW, a Starcraft justice warrior.
Way to go, man. Got. The,
They were right all along. My sarcasm wasn't sarcasm.
Whoa, we have 4 engineering bays on the way. That's a mistake.
That's a hell of a way to make a wall off real quick for cheap.
I'm
Actually,
pretty sure this is on purpose.
I don't think it's on purpose either, but I would love if it was, because this would be super cost effective. No, there's no way that was on purpose. What the
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was doing the main.
If this was on purpose...
It's a fake. No, why would you put the upgrades on the ones that are in a wall?
That's what I'm saying!
No, nuts.
Okay, hang on. I believe in my boy uThermal, who's going to get high-sec auto tracking and building armor
Yo,
while this
I was
goes
gonna
on.
say that, right? That's the real fake. Mia's gonna come in and be like, "Yeah, I got +2." No,
You're just like, I'm gonna just melt your buildings real quick. Wait a minute, you've got +2 armor.
Oh my god!
And you're hitting me from so far away. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit of a goof. I was gonna say though, I don't actually mind if he was trying to make a thicker wall that'd be harder to break, and it's cheap. Like again, an engineering base is only like what 125 or whatever. Like it's very cheap to fill up this part of a wall, opposed to like 5 depots. But there's more than one attack path. Initially though, this is the only one, so I guess that's why the focus goes here. Later, Nerchio will probably knock down these rocks, or maybe even these ones. So I like that uThermal's actually taking the time to put a depot on this side. Not to wall it off, but just to see it coming. But while this goes on the mini-map, Nerchio's side of the map looks like a single-player boss or something. Like, he's just got Overlord spread everywhere. He's taking all these bases. He's looking fantastic.
He is. I mean, there's been like so little talent in this game. Of course, it's gonna look fantastic.
Yeah, actually, 400 minerals. What actually died? 12 Lings and Overlord.
Flames and a Reaper.
Oh, whoops. There we go. All right, well, this will time out well with 1-1.
Real push. Exactly.
I don't know if combat shells will be done. It's a pretty quick upgrade. It might be done in time for this, but either way, Stim's already finished up, so there's damage to go with this medevac drop for certain.
Going into the main base might not be too bad. Nerchio's army is now behind rocks because they're trying to break them, but instead he goes into the natural and the rock's broken down. Not too useful there. Not too useful. But this is 3 base, and he's really like looking towards that extra production. I mean, it's, you know, you better save it and just look for creep kills anyway.
I just realized how to remove. I kind of forgot you could do it. I just removed the best of words. Hopefully this will cause less confusion for chat. Or maybe it'll cause more confusion because they're like, well, what is it a best of? There's nothing there. It's just a score. Not like this.
Oh my god.
Oh my dog. Dance game, etc. Yeah, this will get pushed off. I will say I'm surprised. We talked a lot about this base posing potential problems, but Nerchio's just getting away with so much this game. We might not actually see this base come into contention at all.
Yeah, and this time he's getting super fast hive. I mean, oh yeah, it just finished, yeah. Last game, he really had to hold off on the hive because he was dealing with so many drops and losing so many queens and all that. And it was kind of a late hive, all things considered, for how usually Nerchio plays. This one seemed a lot more like normal.
Rest in pepperonis,
Oh,
my sweet
he
medevac. Oh, well, he missed. Yeah, first spouse. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, then. You don't see that happen too often anymore with Zergs.
That really should have actually been a really nice pick off for Nerchio. It's unfortunate that he didn't get it, but again, he's gotten away with so much this game. Like, I don't think he's feeling too upset by missing 2 medevacs like that. I mean, he's on Hive Tech, finished a long time ago. He's got the Ultraless Cavern finishing up any second now.
uThermal, he got his 2-2 on the other engineering base. I'm so happy.
I don't know, man. I really have no words. I have no idea. The last time we saw a 4 engineering base was Ryung. And that was it. That's the only time I can think of anyone's done this.
No. Do you remember MMA? He got like a ton of engineering bays. Or no, was that he didn't get any engineering bays? I don't remember. Who's
that guy that played against Artosis forever ago, right? Proxy the engineering bays and stuff. Like, there's that clip of him just laughing his ass off at it.
Well, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, there's no way you haven't seen that one.
I don't think I have, man. That doesn't sound familiar.
Someone needs to find a link of that and get it to Zombie Grub's stat.
The history thing.
Alright, well, production all over the place actually makes this a little bit easier to defend. I was a bit worried that it being so staggered, we get caught, but the Lings get cleaned up immediately. And Nerchio's counterattack doesn't really do much. Like, just first attack, really?
Buys time. You know, now Kindness Plating's almost done, and yes! Get the building armor.
He is actually getting it. I like
use the engineering base. Oh, no, but it's not on the front engineering base, it's on the main engineering base.
Oh, so that means 3-3 is going to start over here.
Oh, no.
Actually, to see this prioritized over 3-3 is a little bit disappointing.
But I feel like he made 4 engineering base and was like, I really got to use this so they don't make fun of me.
Yeah, I will say, by the way, building armor does have some actual merits to it, but not here.
No.
GG.
He didn't even lose his army, but he was just like, nope. This is too bad.
This is why you don't let Nerchio play an untouched macro game. End of story.
It's true.
But okay, that's game 6 I love how back and forth this is. Again, like for me, you guys are probably sick of hearing me say this, but I cannot in my mind get over the fact that this is like that 1 year rematch of like Nerchio dominating uThermal. Now he's brought it back. This has been really back and forth too. There's just so much awesomeness to this. I'm having a great time. I hope you guys are too. We're gonna go to a 2-minute commercial break, and when we get back, we'll see you for some more. Thanks for watching. All right, we're back. They're actually discussing the maps right now, so we don't actually have map 7 ready yet.
Oh my god, they're arguing so fun.
I love the way they argue. But hey, Zombie, would you get us caught up on sub shoutouts?
Sure. Thanks to Taw for the 19-month resub. Robothari for the 32-month resub.
You see that stupid grin? Just say it. Just do it.
Yeah. And get a Rift King for the 21-month resub.
That guy sounds amazing. He sounds handsome, single, and available.
Which map?
So they're just gonna argue about like the maps being a little bit. Nerchio's sad there's not more Zerg favorite maps. uThermal saying there's too many Zerg favorite maps. The back and forth. Bit of banter.
No one listens to me.
Wait, what did you write? You just wrote a carbon emote. How is that contributing?
I said which map?
Oh, I thought you were just trying to like, get a word in, so you're just like mustache.
Oh no, I'm like the Captain Marine no one listens to.
All right, so again, the remaining maps at this point are Ascension, Aiur, Wind Waker, Paradise Lost. So they have their pick of the 3. I will say, I actually like all of the remaining maps. Oh, actually, Ascension, Aiur, I guess I wasn't like on the super hype train about. It wasn't a bad map, but I really liked Paradise Lost and I really liked Wind Waker. I thought these were great maps in the map pool.
Yeah. And we'll see one of the maps again for the 10th.
I just realized Milo's using his Nerchio portrait for this.
Oh yeah.
Should bust out mine. Change out the Hell's Boot Time portrait for the first time ever.
I don't think I bought the WCS portraits.
Really?
I know.
Wow, do you just hate StarCraft or what's wrong with you?
I do. Yes. I have a real reason, but that's what we're gonna go with. Was
the real reason complacency and laziness?
A little. Yeah, I was traveling and I was like, huh, this expires like on December 30th or whatever. I should probably buy it. I didn't. Oh, okay, well. I'll get the next one. It's fine. I'll get the next one when TY... Oh wait, no, TY had a portrait this year. No.
There.
Ripkin, why?
I just made the laziest tweet about the series from BaseTrade. I was like tagging people earlier. Like, if you watch the progression of tweets, like it just keeps going downhill. Started off using pictures.
You didn't even
tagging.
use the names.
No, I didn't. I didn't even.
Good God.
It's 3-3. Get in here. All right. Well, my terrible social media skills aside, folks, it is tied up 3-3. Spawning here in the bottom right of Wind Waker, we have the blue Zerg player. Oh, he's got to watch out, though. Nerchio.
In the top left, as the red Terran, he is Liquid uThermal.
But he's not staying in the top left, is he?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, it's about time we saw one of these. I think that's what he was looking for. Buying time, but pretending to complain about Zerg maps, and he's just looking for Reaper maps. Which one's the best? Which one is? Is it?
Well, supposedly the team look like you guys are boot camping right now. I would actually want to hope and imagine uThermal's like talking to Snood or the guys who played this, like what their thoughts are on things, or those who watch the tournament type deal. But while this kicks off, before we see those Reapers get built, thank you to Jim and RH for the Twitch Prime sub. Glad to have you on board. And Shire Shady for just the regular sub. Just as good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But as Nerchio, I guess it's interesting because this isn't... it's not like mind games per se, but you've gone 7 maps where each game has been macro for both players. This really comes out of nowhere. This is such a left field move, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, It's like almost like the best 69.
No,
Doesn't-
that had no
doesn't
cheese.
have kings.
He was dumb. The only cheese in that whole series, quote unquote, was when
Was
Bunny
the
tried to do the
Viking.
Viking. Yeah, so you knew exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes. Good times. Good times. Well, unfortunately, Nerchio did go for a pool first, so the Lings were not supposed to be out already, and this is already kind of like bad news for uThermal. Because uThermal isn't abusing this map, really. Like, Reapers are always going to be good because grenades can be amazing, but this does not have all the features of a real kick-ass Reaper map. Like, the one ledge in the back does not make it good.
It does
So-
provide an entryway, but yeah, you're right. Like, you still have to go all the way around. That's a big part of that doodad block in there, but the other SUV comes in to try and finish up the bunker. I don't know how big of a deal finishing up the Healy hut's going to be, but if he does get this finished up, it is a place for the Reapers to fall back to. So the Lings are going to get on top of this. The SUV's pulled away. It's got to be a little bit careful. It's the only SUV left.
Try to get focused. I'm saving it. No, saving it, but the Queen might die.
That's a
Back
tough
to
trade to make, though.
transfuse.
Yeah, exactly. She had
Yeah.
energy. If not a transfuse, at least some creep
Roaches.
spread.
It's roaches. You might be able to turn one into a Ravager. And oh, maybe the snowballs. If like seriously, with 6 grenades going down on a drone line, all the drones could die, and that would just tap anyone out at the game. So, had to be careful right there. But the roach is finally pushing back.
Well, you know what they say, Zombie Grub. Don't you?
Do I?
Yeah, that age-old saying about the situation. In fact, you usually say it all the time to me off stream. What is it again?
I'll talk to you about the game off stream.
You're right. Instead, we just play Civ, and I'm really bad at Civ.
Or a secret. You're bad at geography, man.
I'm bad at geography and I'm bad at civilization. You guys, here's the recap of me and Zombie Grub playing Civilization. Rifkin, why do you have so much gold? Okay, I'm going to bed.
It bothers me so much.
I'm so
You
good
get
at
this
making
good
money.
economy going, and you don't spend your damn money.
I'm so glad we don't stream Civ. That would be very, I think, yelled at by the
Should.
viewers.
You guys want to play Civ with us? Love to play Civ with you guys.
Alright, Reapers are causing a bit of trouble. Nerchio's Roach is a little bit low. If you've been able to pull that back and make it a Ravager, that would have been nice. Might be what's on his mind, but the problem is Roaches cannot compete with this. They've got the damage and the health to fight Reapers head on, but not the grenades. Constantly going to be zoning them out like this, but once the Ravagers start coming out, they have the auto attack range to actually take on the Reapers. uThermal, by the way, is super all in with this. This isn't some version where he stopped and made a command center and moving on to a factory afterwards. The one Ravager gets focused. Oh, that's so bad.
It is. Yeah, that was definitely a mistake there. Probably had a hot feed somewhere else. This is still dangerous. Oh, whoa, actually,
he
it's a trap.
just ate a lot of his own grenades.
Oh, but so many got away, even though they were low health. I thought he was trapped.
Man, this brings me back to like when Ruff would do this with like +1. Like when you've got this many Reapers, +1 is gonna actually add so much damage.
I feel like this is like that time that you met a celebrity, you know? You're like, I saw Hercules from across the way
Hercules!
on the mall.
There's literally hundreds of celebrities you could have picked from, and you pick not a
I was
celebrity,
watching-
but a made-up mythological figure.
No, Kevin Sorbo.
Well, then say Kevin Sorbo.
Well, I couldn't remember his name, and I've been watching Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23 or whatever. He was on there recently, and it was what came to me first, alright?
Dude,
Anyways.
James Vanderbeek is so good at that.
Anyways, and you're just like, you tell everyone that you almost saw Hercules in a mall. That's your story with Ruff.
Well, I mean, if I was gonna meet one of the Hercules, I think I'd want it to be Ryan Gosling, right?
I mean, yeah. That's right, Ryan, right?
You're the worst at this. You're so bad. Go read a magazine or something. Jeez.
Go read Cosmo more.
Yeah. 10 tips on how to find out who a celebrity is. He does break one of the spine crawlers, and my silliness and our silly banter aside, Nerchio's done everything in his power to try and stay alive this game, and he's done a great job with it too. Up on 33 workers, uThermal still has no expansion. It is so all in out of him, and he has been slowly just whittling away. This is something where normally it's the other way around, like the Zerg player is the one who's bleeding out slowly and surely over time. uThermal almost had that dynamic going on, but Nerchio's got such a healthy roach count. He's got the spine crawler up. He's got so many drones mining. Like, there's no way uThermal's gonna make this work.
Yeah. It's too far gone. I mean, credit to uThermal, I guess, and Reapers in general for even having a couple moments where it looked really scary. Again, this wasn't the greatest, coolest map, but it's too far gone. It's tripling the supply now. Never give up, never surrender, though.
Yo, there's a surprising amount of reactions from people in chat regarding Civ. Maybe the like 2 weeks that we're out of work from IEM could just be like a Civ week.
Civ week. We'll actually finish a game.
That's about how long it takes to play a game.
Oh my god.
All right, Reaper's going crazy with these grenades. Roach is taking a lot of damage. Again, like it's at this point for me a little bit complacent because it took uThermal so long to build this command center.
Wow, he's trying to build a command center. Who'd have thunk it?
I mean, I guess it's better than just tapping out. I mean, reminder for everybody: the players are fully aware. It's $100 in the line for each of these games. You want. It's less about winning the money, and I think it's more about just denying it from your opponent. You don't want to give Nerchio $100. Losing a game, uThermal basically donates $100 to Nerchio.
If he goes hungry, then maybe he'll lose more games in the future. I don't know why he's building 2 factories.
I guess, you know what? 8 minutes in is too late for Stim, so why not go mech, right?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
In all seriousness, though, the factories might just be because he wants Cyclones, and Cyclones actually are not too bad against this. They're not great considering how far behind he is in getting them, but, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, he's done it. This is like a fake pullback? What?
Yeah, it's a fake, man. He's gonna build Marines now. Calling it.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, man. I realize one bad thing about playing Civ with other people, though, is that if anyone does want to be a warmonger, like, it's, like, even worse than when you play Mafia. It's not just, like, you're out for, like, an hour. You're gonna be out for 4 games. For 4 hours, rather. It doesn't actually sound that fun.
And that doesn't look like Marines, unless... Did they update a patch to the game where Marines get jetpacks?
I'm telling you, he's gonna make Marines. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get by with this on a technicality. It's gonna be like 5 minutes from now.
He's not gonna make any Marines this game out of this barracks.
No, telling you.
He's playing mech behind it. You don't build Marines to go with this.
I'm sorry, do you build Reapers to go with mech?
In fairness, no.
Shut up. I didn't think so. Anything can happen, Rifkin. He could start tech labs and build Marauders. You don't know.
Actually, I would like Tech Labs and Marauders better than Marines for the present situation. He gets surrounded, the Cyclones aren't going to be enough. GG. No Marines.
Damn it.
Okay, Nerchio now with a 4-3 score. $400 to Nerchio, $300 to uThermal. Still got a couple games left to play out. Thank you to Masonovic, or Masonovic. Thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. We got 2 maps left, and they're both actually my favorite maps of the total pool, so I'm very glad about that. Both Wind Waker and Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost, it's funny though, has had weird reception. I know Nathanius was actually a huge fan of it. I've been a huge fan of it, and a very select amount of the pros have enjoyed it. I think general reception though is that people haven't liked this map, all things considered. Players, that is, excuse me. Because Paradise Lost was the most voted for map coming back to these finals. And I see that you are just doing cute cat moment stuff. What's up, Apollo? Oh my gosh, hold the phone. Are you not wearing pajamas to stream for once?
I don't wear pajamas to stream to afternoon streams.
You wear pajamas all the time in my head. Like
No, that's because we were casting so many early streams.
In the same way that I never wear pants, I just presume you always wear pajamas.
No, only to early streams, man. I consider it a good starting point in my day if I get out of pajamas. So
I consider it a good starting point in my day if I get out of bed. Anyways, I phrased that wrong earlier, by the way. Sorry, we had just played on Wind Waker. I meant to say like Wind Waker and Paradise Lost were the 2 remaining maps. But we also have Ascension to Aiur as like the actual maps to pick from for the remaining 2. But they're not picking, so I guess we're just gonna pop off to a quick break. See you guys in a couple minutes. Thanks for watching. More Zombie Grabs Cat when we return. Zombie Grub, you're gonna make a liar out of me. I told these people, I promised these people we'd give them more cat when we got back from the break, and he's gone!
Come here. Come here. Come on.
All right. Well, Apollo left during the break, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't want to be that guy, but
Come here.
cat hates me. Oh, there he is. What's up, Apollo? You cutie patootie. Anyways, they did finally settle on a map. Paradise Lost will be the next map.
What are you doing?
Tournament canceled. Cat stream now. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Just swap me out there. Okay, we're ready to go.
So I'm having a brain fart. I know you just said it moments ago. It's 4-3 for Nerchio, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Now Apollo can leave in peace.
Goodbye, Apollo.
Wants to do. Where'd he go?
Just ran away, dude. He's gone.
No.
You went
No.
too cat lady on him.
I don't think it's possible, man. Apollo always wants attention. He's a little attention. Yes, you are. Are you gonna come back up here? Why did you leave? Why did you leave if you're gonna come back? Why are you a cat?
Okay, well, getting into the game. Again, it's not a best of anything. It's just 10 maps played here for the Grand Final Show Match Series to wrap up the map contest tournament. Currently with $400 so far in his pocket, on the rightmost side, we have Euronix Nerchio.
In the top left, kind of. It's the Red Terran, Liquid uThermal.
uThermal, of course, had, I think, $300 earned through previous placements, plus another $300 from these 3 wins so far today. So really not doing too bad. Paradise Lost, though, has got some interesting dynamics. There's the whole thing about the air blockers, but I feel like Jackie, the map creator, has this really cool niche for making maps that are great if you remove the gimmicks and are cool with them. And what I mean by this is, like, New Gettysburg, they got rid of 2 of the island bases and they toned down the air blockers, and that ended up being a pretty solid ladder map, frankly. This is one where I think the base dynamics are pretty cool. I think you should, A, eliminate these weird single paths that have minerals blocking them. And I really don't care if they kept or got rid of the air blockers. I just like the design of the map and the layout. Like, even if you chopped off, like, if you cropped off the top and the bottom parts of the map and just left the middle, I think this would be a pretty good map even.
I agree. I guess that was a good way to put it when you originally phrased it. It's just the gimmicks are cool, but the map itself is also cool. So if Blizzard wanted the map pool, but only if it got rid of the gimmicks, I would be fine with that. And to be honest, the gimmicks haven't been used that much. We got kind of blessed New Gettysburg because the very first time we cast it, back when it had 4.
Crazy amazing game.
Yeah, it was a really awesome game that probably really helped the public appeal, actually get it to the ladder. But this time, like, we really haven't seen it. We saw the air gate killed once, and then it wasn't really used because Snoot won like a minute after.
So on that note too, for public appeal, I'm sure there's like 2 sides to this, right? One is like, yeah, all the fans should get what they want to see, and the other part of it is like, well, the map makers might not agree with the fans, or the players and pros might not. But I think the thing is, at the end of the day, Starcraft is it's such a good game, and I think, like, this has been evidenced in previous map pools. You can have the worst map pool, you still have a great set of tournament games and really cool streams. I just really would love if this ended up being a nice map pool. I have not been satisfied with the preseason. I'm not satisfied with season 1.
What's going on right here?
No, what am I looking at?
Do you not see this? Holy shit, that Overlord is bugging out for me over the water.
The reflection, you mean, or what are you talking about here?
No, the actual Overlord. It was like the reflection is on the Overlord, so it's like it's like a High Templar movement actually from Brood War.
Yeah, that is weird water reflection, but it is. I guess I'm used to seeing it. I don't know. This isn't. This happens with like all water.
Something different.
No, we're definitely okay. You're seeing it as if there's like the little trailing effect, even when it stands still, right?
Yeah, but there's like 5 of them.
But this happens with all water effects. Like, this isn't like something new.
Really?
I mean, I'll admit it looks weird, but it's not. I guess I've seen it before, so it's not for me. Like, WTF?
Really? I feel like I don't not pay that much attention to the map. There's been other maps with large bodies of water too that I've put Overlords over.
I'm thinking back to our Archon mode days, where you would be trying really hard and macroing and doing things correctly, and I'd be sitting there doing nothing and staring at the map.
Okay.
And I feel like that is an accurate difference in our ladder play styles as well.
You're right. I mean, because they also cast, and I feel like I would have noticed it. There's been large bodies of water before. You know what? We'll see. Chad will just be like, Summergrub, what are you doing? And I'll be like, okay, fine.
Actually, on that note, I wonder why, like, okay, you've got the cool space station map, Curious Passage, but why there's never been a map that had like a giant body of water through the center of it, like you're fighting around a giant lake or something.
I guess that would be too annoying.
I mean, it's just map textures.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Well,
whatever.
the Hongson like had the
It's like someone spilled some water.
the middle part was like a real river at first, and you could actually walk over it, and that had the noise problems.
Yeah, that's true. So only 2 engineering bays coming down this game.
Okay, good.
And is this gonna float
stuff.
north? No, okay, it's gonna take the pocket base. So you tear down these rocks here, you can knock down this rock tower over here, and you can kind of have a safe third. And I don't think this is such a bad idea. But I was kind of hoping that Command Center would float over to one of the island bases really early and just drop mules like crazy over there. However, I do want to note that we actually saw Nerchio go for the Nidus on this map. In fact, you still owe me like $1 because of it.
No. Let's not perpetrate.
Oh, look, Zomberga welching on her bets again. What a surprise.
Because I said something very specific. And so did you.
I hope you never get into gambling in real life, because this isn't gonna fly there, man. You're gonna have
No, this is
gangsters.
exactly how
You're
it
gonna have
works.
gangsters breaking
Okay,
your
why am I
leg
gambling
while
with
you're trying to
gangsters?
argue. You're like,
I could actually play by gangsters' rules, and they would still break my legs. If
They-
this is a real gambling establishment, and I got off on a technicality, that would fly.
I'm actually just imagining you. You're like sitting there. You're like in the process of your knee being broken, and you're like, no, but I technically said.
Okay, by the way, everyone else says that it's also really weird. So I don't know where you've seen it before.
I feel like I've seen that before, but you know what? I'm totally okay with being wrong because I really don't care about the water effects on an Overlord.
I do. I think it looks weird. I don't know if it's actually going to affect the game at all, and I doubt Nerchio was even looking at it when it happened. But whatever, man.
It's space water, guys. It's not regular water, so of
That
course
would be a good excuse.
it's like
Just use that one.
That's like Doctor Who levels of excuse, though. It's timey-wimey stuff. You wouldn't understand.
Okay, alright. I think it's a High Templar Overlord.
That is a really nice blitz to clear up the scrape tumors, by the way, and of course gets away unscathed for it. A little annoying for Nerchio, but as we can see, not the end of the world. He just plans to stand the new tumors. Medevacs get caught on the air blockers because those are a thing we can't forget about. It's a giant no-fly sign. He's gonna get caught up here too. Oh, uThermal. Oh, uThermal.
Okay.
You're making $100 mistakes here. I want you to know that.
Well, it really sucks that it just continues going further into the bug. Him and the map maker costing about $100.
Right? Well, in fairness, like, this is something he should be playing around with. This was a shift-click rally that got messed up, and I think that that's more on the player than the map. Although the map does have those... You know, I wouldn't even blame the map. I just blame Blizzard for not having AI capable of dealing with air blockers.
Okay.
What does this happen here?
Okay.
Everybody
Blame
scatter.
the map because Starcraft 2's engine is 7 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, Dota got rehauled. Hello? It's obviously possible.
Well, Dota has game designers that care about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. This is like you know when CNN keeps cutting people off every time they mention fake news? Blizzard's gonna do that to us. We're just gonna both disconnect.
Look, okay, they got 4 other esports they gotta pay attention to. We're old. We're like an old grandma that's been put in the home. They visit us once in a while.
We're like, what are we, some sort of Archon grandma here? Like, what are you?
All of StarCraft, we.
Oh, okay. The grand we, not the royal we. My mistake.
What else do you think I was talking about? That you and me were both...
Well, that's kind of what I thought you were talking about. Yeah, but hold on. The infestor misses its fungal. I love uThermal leaving a medevac over the army to scout, though. I mean, it seems like a bit of a waste, and it's totally unnecessary now, but this was great for realizing how he'd need to dodge those fungals. And he was paying very much attention, too. Very quick reaction to that fungal, or the corrosive bile.
2-2 is about to finish, but so is like everything else for Nerchio. Ultras, Chitinous, +2 Carapace. That was kind of late, actually. Adrenal Glands, and of course the counterattack that was set up that is really big, really big.
This gets through those depots. A little bit of SimCity at the third, but nothing compared to the Ultralists waiting for him on this side of the map. Uncle Gross hitting the most of the army.
Oh, God.
Oh, uThermal, do not die here, brother! Nerchio is pushing through.
He's so dead. It's not even.
There's so many medevacs. This was really... There's not enough units to heal with all these medevacs. 16 workers died at home. He's at like half the overall supply of Nerchio. uThermal's fight could not have gone worse for him.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, considering how quickly he tapped out of the last game when he got surrounded. Surprised he didn't just tap out of this one.
Well,
we're playing musical chairs in barracks.
Yeah.
He really wasn't expecting the Ultras to be out that quick. Wow.
Yeah, 7 tech labs. This is actually kind of insane to look at. He like completely lifts off of almost every single reactor in uThermal. He's just gonna go pure. He's just gonna go pure Marauder at this point.
That's too many. No, I mean, you can't afford it.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not even about the silliness of like just going Marauder. Maybe pure Marauder works, but they're so expensive compared to Marines.
Twice as expensive even.
And then some because of the gas.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, that's true. Fourth base is on the way, and despite just running face first in the Ultras, uThermal is not giving up on this game.
I mean, I want to imagine part of his thoughts too are like he's always got those back bases to fall back to. Like Nerchio can't run Ultras there. He can't run Lings back there. Overlords are... This looks so stupid. This is like, okay, everyone who's ever lagged while playing World of Warcraft, you know exactly what this feels like.
I bet I could explain what's happening though. Like I bet the actual trigger to say like you can't come in here is a little bit smaller than the actual gate. They literally go in and they're like, whoop. Nope. Anyway, that is going to happen every single time we see this map, so get used to it. 3-3 is almost done, so again, to uThermal's credit, he has better upgrades. It didn't help him last time.
Mother of God, he forgot Baneling speed, or maybe he doesn't need it. Either way, that's a lot of slow. That's a lot of slow Banelings moving the map. It looks so weird to see.
His Baneling nest only just finished, so it makes sense.
Medevacs to the bottom right. Yo, that'd be so sneaky and so snaky to like take your opponent's bottom right base or something.
They'd never expect
Just build a planetary, because like, what are they gonna do? Like, I actually think...
I don't think so.
Well, okay, planetary and a couple turrets, but my point is, I actually, looking at this, I think that little island is in range that you don't need Hyzek tracking, auto tracking. You could hit every... Oh, that sucks. I think you could hit every part of this base if you needed to. Like, if a Nidus Storm comes down up here, that's going to be in range. Up here, it's going to be in range. You can't go behind the minerals. There's not enough room.
Alright, well...
It'd be such a troll thing to do. It's, I'm not saying it's a good idea,
I'll bet
but...
you $1.
Well...
I also gave you 1,000 Partooks. Thought that was an equivalent.
That's not an equivalent.
I also gave it to BaseTradeTV. Okay.
Alright, well, of course, there's some party goers on the map. Was this the one that had the Ewok party? Yeah, there it is. Get the little Ewok party. Or not Ewoks, because copyright, but yeah, the little panda bear people things. Wearing like fin hats from Adventure Time.
Yeah, they are.
I love the dude that's just going ham on the bongos. It's probably my favorite part. Anyways, fighting the bottom side coming into play. So many Marauders were made, 27 to be precise. Is this actually gonna work?
How did he get that many Marauders? His economy was bad.
There were some serious questions about that. I think he owes the Mafia some money. But regardless of that, this is actually kind of working.
This is disgusting.
I've never seen anybody go this many Marauders deep, but it actually works. And Nerchio's, like, his lack of health on the Banelings, the slow speed, they couldn't quite connect to the bio like you normally would.
Well, it's a good thing he can remax on 9 Ultras.
I mean, yeah, Nerchio, don't get me wrong, guys. Nerchio's so far and away, like, way ahead in this game. But that was really amazing. I really did not think uThermal's choice to go 7 tech labs and no marine production was going to work.
Man, he even saved a couple of his medevacs. The corruptors even go to town.
You know what's crazy about it, too? Look at that resources loss chart, too. Like, that actually wasn't even that bad of a fight for uThermal, all things considered.
if uThermal hadn't taken the economic damage along with the army fight, like, he might be really okay even, as opposed to down AD supply.
This game is, again, like, income graph all Nerchio. I think it's pretty clear the map dominance is all Nerchio. He's coming in for the fight. uThermal's gonna do what he can. Problem with Marauders is they don't do with Lings so well. But not many Lings in front of this, mostly just those Ultras. Stands his ground to soak some banlings. Choke's gonna work in his favor. Can he do it again?
Not enough units, man.
No, there's really not enough units.
Oh, God.
He made magic happen one time. He almost does it a second. But the problem is, while this goes on, of course, the other bases were compromised. Planetary's killed. This is shut down. And yeah, that's going to be all she wrote for this one.
Yeah, I see it.
So last map, before we refresh, is going to be Ascension to Aiur. So we already know what the next map is, at least. So we won't have to wait around too long. But GG's to Nerchio takes a 5-3 lead now here in the series. Now, before I was saying that this was looking very different to last year with uThermal, but if I recall, I think uThermal only won 3 games out of the 15 over there. So I hope his 3 victory is not like the hard stop for him on this one either. Someone in chat asked you, what happens if it's 5-5? Well, it's not a problem because score is kind of irrelevant. It's $100 per win. There's no like bonus of like, oh, you get like another 100 if you are the winner of the series either. It's just $100 per win.
Rewind. So what happens if it's 5-5? Holy shit, we didn't think about that.
I hate you so much right now.
I'm sorry.
Let's get into Ascension to Aiur. Nerchio is saying he's actually... Because again, Nerchio was actually very adamant saying none of the maps looked very good for Zerg. But he just kind of says, okay, maybe that map's not so bad for Zerg.
Yeah, funny times. Funny times. Just gotta get a meal in here.
Jeez, we got like almost 4,000 people tuning in. What's up, everybody? I know it's like a real cheesy thing to do. We haven't done it for a while, but I am really genuinely curious. Where are you guys tuning in from? I don't need your city. I don't need your postal code, but you know you tune in from Poland. You're here to cheer for Nerchio. You got that Polish pride. Coming from the United States. You're slacking on your day job. You got us on the side screen. If you're in Twitch chat, let us know where you guys are tuning in from. I'd love to see. Spiglet wants to know this tweet. Nope. It's not going to happen. And I'm not even going to read it out. So, Spiglet, I'm just going to tell you nope.
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 Nope. I know what you're referring to. Nope. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I know how to say it, but it takes me a long time, so I don't want to say it.
Gangnam Style.
That's so much easier. You're right.
All right. So, again, this is the last map before things repeat. The 10th and final map that will play out after this will be a repeat of one of the maps you guys have already seen. Let me just 5-3 the score. There we go. Here in the top left, taking a very relaxing last game. It's going to be the red Zerg player, Nerchio.
Yeah, it's on a paradise and everything. In the bottom right is the blue Terran. He is uThermal.
All right, so Ascension to Aiur actually didn't get played much. I think I could be wrong on this. I think we only saw it one time in the Korean tournaments. Maybe twice. But my recollection... No, we definitely saw this actually. Excuse me. We saw this in the foreigner tournament too a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
Because it's these things I remember. The Chaos Emeralds or whatever in the middle of the map. This one didn't look too bad though. I was going to just mention though. It's the only reason I brought that up. Like, I remember at a glance, the 3rd and 4th looked horrendous on this map, but it turned out to not be too bad for players to take.
As far as I remember, like Nerchio or Snoots took the base that would now be at the bottom of Nerchio. And then he took the 4th in the pocket one. I think it can go either way though. Oh, not that one, yeah.
Well, so this again, like this is really interesting because it's been a long time since we've seen these sort of base layouts that make me think like Terran are just gonna go drop crazy, right? I keep referencing, I think Star Station was the first time we really saw a really big effect in this, and it kind of feels like a majority of the maps have done this again, and I don't know if this is intentional or accidental. I'm just not a fan of things like this where you get the cliff overlooking, Because, like, okay, maybe it's Terran dropping. Maybe it's Stalkers blinking. Maybe it's a War Prison being annoying. Like, I just see a lot of problems for Zerg players trying to take this base at any point because aggression can just get out of hand with this cliff.
We get a lot of answers. So first of all, Squeedus resub for 8 months says tuning in from planet
Damn.
Earth, which is correct.
Actually, that's a lot. That's a lot of Germany. This Take TV casting. Why are you guys watching our stream?
Yeah, got some people from South Africa, got some Vancouver people.
Yo, my Vancouver people, what's up? How you guys doing?
A lot of Americans, Ecuador.
Yo, I don't want to obviously give away where I'm moving because that would just be stupid to 4,000 people. But I am moving much closer to Vancouver than I currently live. So hopefully, maybe we can start doing some meetups or something. I know right now we just use the Twitch Vancouver meetup as the excuse to meet up, but we usually see about 3 or 4 people there. But I would not mind trying to get together for some sort of like GSL host. Oh man, oh, you know what I've always wanted to do? Ever since I saw Naniwa do it, Total BM, he rented out the theater, right? To watch the game.
Yeah.
I think it was like Hux matches or whatever. I would love to rent out a theater to watch like GSL or something with people. That'd be so awesome. Yeah. And now that it's at, well, it's not that it's expensive or not. It's, before it was at like 3 a.m. So it's just no one's open at 3 a.m. Now we might actually viably be able to do it with the new GSL times.
Yeah. I also love the amount of people that said that they were working and slacking off.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You guys are detriments to your company, but awesome and positive here for BaseTradeTV.
Good one. Good save.
My old writing story was always like I tried to write in the beginning for essays, and I could never spell beginning correctly. So I'd give up after 4 tries and just be like, it started with instead. Alright, so let's just shoo off the lings of the watchtower. They're going to actually walk on over to the map, or I guess roll on over, and see the third, but not be able to do too much more as the queens were right there ready to intercept. And now Nerchio's even body blocked this off.
He's got the Roach Horn, which is like, what a surprise. And more importantly, is going for Cyclones. And I did expect the Armory with that too, so a bit of a different push than we've seen so far. And Nerchio might not have the amount of units needed to defend against it, as Nerchio doesn't really bother scouting in a lot of his games.
Yo, I'm
Blood Spark, huge prime sub.
I'm still being terrible and just reading through this. I love all the Canadians. It breaks my heart. You know what? Like, as a very proud Canadian here, not nationalistically proud, but just proud in general, and as a Canadian, I always get a little bit bummed when I look at our viewer statistics. And for the last several months, it's been USA, like Germany swapping on and off, Korea, and then Canada. I'm like, how can I get more of my fellow brothers to enjoy StarCraft? My sisters and brothers of Canada, tune in and watch some StarCraft 2.
I'm trying to think of a way to make fun of you, but I can't. Tell them to get off their mooses or something.
Thanks so much for that, Zombie Grub. One thing we did neglect to talk about was the fact that uThermal is going mech this game. And what's really important to note with this is not so much that it's mech, but it's a very fast +1 to go with mech. And if you guys don't know, Cyclones, which are already pretty good units in general, they destroy units that have no armor. So Nerchio getting +1 Carapace is huge. Let's see if it actually matches up that +1 timing out of uThermal. As he storms on in, of course, the Roaches will be the first to fall to the Cyclones. Hellbats are just soaking hits for the Cyclones. And this is a very different looking push than just the Hellbat ones we've seen in the past.
Yeah, there's just not enough lings, even if they do get on top of the Cyclones. The Hellbats are pretty much all gone, and he's only reinforcing with more Cyclones. Okay, the last couple Hellions move in here.
Yeah,
this is good damage.
Funny enough, the Ravagers will actually hold on longer than the Roaches will because of that bonus damage, but still, Joe's getting pulled on the side of this. There's not that many Hellions, so this makes Lings a lot more viable to clean this up instead of Roaches, but Nerchio is still just going to go Roaches instead. uThermal's +1 weapon still almost done, but it looks like Carapace is actually going to beat it, so he's not going to get super big advantages from this. But if you guys have ever just wanted to be really... You want to just get the hate of the other race you're playing against, Protoss and Zerg, go for fast Cyclones to +1 and watch Stalkers and Roaches melt. It's disgusting. Regardless of this, though, he's still producing a lot back at home. Nerchio's starting to chase really far off a creep, and yeah, he was hitting Danger Zone territory.
Danger Zone? Yeah. It was good that he had Roach speed, though. That was another big factor of chasing down those Cyclones. But that ended up being a fair trade. Nerchio had to stop droning for quite a while. Obviously, he didn't go to a 4th base, but uThermal's only just stopping on his 3rd. Everything looks pretty even. Upgrades, workers, army. Nerchio's going to add on a Spire, though, which is cool.
Well, as we all know, Cyclones do not... They might as well not have an anti-air attack. What they have is something that distracts them from shooting ground attack.
Thank you to Ziggler92.
The Ziggler. Alright, and a donation, but we'll get to that in a moment. The Cyclones on the front line continue to push forward. Choosing not to shoot any of the Overlords down is an interesting choice.
Well, they might as well not have an air attack.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
The
drone's being pulled here. It's pretty desperate. Nerchio not quite ready to get to Aspire. It wouldn't have minerals and gas to use it anyway.
Yeah, this attack at uThermal, though, a lot of these Cyclones get a bit low. It's kind of scary. Not quite falling apart just yet. But Cyclones are not cheap and not easy to replace. So the fact that he keeps pulling them back, I think, is a very, very good one. I'm surprised, actually. Did he not even go for a starport behind this? No, I was going to say, there's like no Liberator follow-up. He's just going ground mech.
4 mutas really isn't that bad.
Even if it was more, I think if uThermal recognizes it early enough, he can start investing in Thors, right? But regardless of that, the Cyclone's going to do what they can here for the ground side. Hellions, all they need to do is soak hits, really. It's not really about them even doing damage. It's about them just extending the health of said Cyclones.
Look at those mutas. They're finally coming out now, but he wants to wait till he has more of them to really show. Because I don't think uThermal has scouted anything but the 3rd base lately, so he has no idea.
Yeah, I doubt he's thinking about mutas, but if you're an avid mech player, you're fully aware that mutas are a possibility and likely to happen as a response to these Cyclones. Or at least air in general is when you're playing mech. But the thing is, as much as I do want to joke about how bad Cyclone damage is, if you've got this many of them and they do all focus fire mutas, like one of them, for example, it will go down very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Infestation pit now on the way, maybe for Swarm Hosts.
Takes 19 Cyclones to out DPS the healing factor of a Mutalisk. Feels bad, man.
Damn.
Damn.
Damn. Oh, there they are revealed. Lock-on's gotta go down here.
Yeah. The damage is so good.
Oh.
So good. He killed like 5 minutes there. It's amazing.
Oh, uThermal might feel very pressured to just kind of all in at this point, and it might not be a bad choice.
He's got 6 Cyclones worth of production. This is hitting innovation levels of weird mech.
22 SCVs went down. Nerchio did get an Infestation Pit, but he's not going to be able to afford anything from it, so just going for more Roaches. That might not work. It's going to be close.
Well, +2 is also coming out for the Cyclones. Again, they get really nice bonuses versus armor. The mutas are scared to go in. I don't know why. There's no anti-air waiting for them.
I guess kind of contemplating bringing them back, maybe hoping that there seriously is so little anti-air they'll help against the Cyclones.
Yeah, maybe. The Roaches do come in, and I do like the joint attack, because now you really can't afford to stop and shoot the mutas. You have to fight the Roaches on the ground. Nerchio's going to lose a lot, but I think uThermal's going to lose more. It's a lot harder for him to replace this.
Looks like it, yeah. Yeah, a little bit too far gone. Nerchio is still on 3 bases, while uThermal has a couple of more Cyclones. Reinforcements, I think that Nerchio just didn't get beat down enough in his economy. He'll be able to remax. Well, not quite remax, but definitely get a better army. Well, congratulations, killing mutas.
I just don't know why Blizzard hates mech anti-air so badly.
Gotta have a weakness. You know,
fair enough.
Everything else. Everything else is also good.
Actually, in seriousness, I do like the Swarm Host choice from Nerchio behind this.
Yeah.
Like, he really doesn't know where uThermal's at in this, because we talk about uThermal scouting, but Nerchio's been so busy fighting in the middle of the map until the mutas came out. He didn't really see much. GG. But I think once he recognized that this was going to be full-blown mech one way or the other, I think Swarm Hosts were the ultimate best choice to go for.
I agree.
Well, who was it? We got a small donation there at the middle of that game, the end of that game. Oh, it's Damage. Another name I can say totally perfectly correctly every single time. Billy, did you knew that PF can't scan? Wait a minute. The Planetary Fortress can't scan?
Who's Billy?
Well, why does the Planetary Fortress have a giant satellite dish on it then?
Oh, you think of an orbital?
What?
Wow. Yeah, that's actually what you should be making after your barracks is finished. I know you go for planetaries every single base, but...
Yeah. That's shut up. All right, we're gonna go to commercial break, guys. We'll see you in the final. It's the absolute last game. We'll see you when we return. All right, the resurrected map was Hunger Game. This actually surprises me a little bit, if we're gonna be honest, but regardless, this is the last map that we'll play today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this 10-game show match series. Score here. Actually, it's 6-3. Oh boy. Oh bother. Is that like a Jet Set song? Like 6-3 on the inside, outside? Okay, whatever. Anyways,
that's way too far back, man.
Tops. Well, I watched a streamer, Pterodactyls for the Win, and she was a few days ago playing a lot of Jet Set music, and it's been stuck in my head. Just like cannot get it out of my head.
That's cool.
Like this, like that. Like this, like that. Anyways, bad singing aside, top spawn location, we've got the blue Terran, Liquid Thermi, aka Liquid uThermal.
The bottom position as the red Zerg, it's Nerchio.
So again, $100 attached per win today. Nerchio walking away with at least $600. uThermal with at least $600. Kind of funny to see that be the case. I guess this will determine who really walks away with all the money, as the last 100 separates the two. But the other 300 for uThermal comes from his placement. Nerchio got knocked out in the very first round of the round of 16, so he didn't actually earn any prize money prior to today. So he's probably very grateful to his fans for voting him back in.
Yeah. Nice bit of cash. So we can't forget how Nerchio expanded last time they played on this map, and we also can't forget that uThermal kind of tore Nerchio apart. I mean, the drops weren't killing bases, but they were killing queens and drones, and a couple of roaches as well. And then the main push down the middle just absolutely destroyed Nerchio. So I'm thinking uThermal was hoping for that same exact game to the T, like to the actual just push and win, because it's a really easy push. I don't know if Nerchio's going to be able to give him that, though. I think some of that game with uThermal was awesome, drop micro and whatever, but it was also Nerchio kind of getting used to the map layout. So he feels confident going for this base is a natural still, but okay. Wait a minute. My cat doesn't have a tail?
Your cat? Wait a minute. No, all cats have tails.
Yeah, he has a tail, right?
I'm pretty sure your cat has a tail.
Oh my god. Rifkin, I think you're right.
Do you put the camera on?
I don't think he has a tail. I don't know, man.
Hang on, let's get your camera on him. Let's check this out. Everyone.
Oh, you can't really see him.
Does her cat have a tail? Okay, well, Paulo, you're super cute, but you're facing the wrong way, so I'm gonna get rid of you.
Yeah, he's just in the wrong position all over the place.
No. Japanese bobtails.
They have a tail, actually, that has all the vertebrae of a normal tail, just shortened and condensed. The more you know.
I feel like it's not that you're providing too much information or unnecessary information, but it feels like such an overly defensive response. Like, you could probably just get away with saying he has a tail. You're like, he has a tail, but he's just like any other cat, okay? Like, he has all the same vertebrae as every other cat, so he's not different, whatever.
See, if I did that, then yes, that would be really defensive.
See,
but I just think it's informative.
You don't say it, but that's how I hear it every time.
But I just think it's informative, because if I said he actually has a tail, people would be like, no, it's not a tail. And I'm like, well, technically a tail is just like how many vertebrae is in it. Because if he didn't have a tail, say like he had like been run over on his tail, which has happened to other cats, they would have not the correct amount of vertebrae. So I'm just trying to be scientific here. You're just bringing emotion into it for no reason.
Vertebrae, more like nerdebrae. Who knows this much about cats? I mean, honestly.
Oh my god, when I chose Apollo, we had to wait 2 weeks to actually pick him up because he was too young. And I just researched the hell out of Japanese bobtails. Like, I was so excited to get Apollo. I'm so excited for him.
That's pretty adorable, I'm gonna be honest. But Rushwarden comes down in the same weird location as last time, and it never got touched, so I'm just gonna shrug this off. Like,
okay.
it is really odd, but
you know what? Since they're not in the back of any mineral lines, uThermal's not touching them with the drops. It makes a lot of sense.
I guess that's true, and it's a little bit hard to go down to the middle of the base like this when you know that there's reinforcements from literally
I got you,
all
Nerchio.
sides.
I understand you.
Well, regardless of like whether this is like objectively good or bad or silly or not, I just want to note that uThermal, I really want to see him turn it up again. Like these last couple games out of him have felt a little bit lame. The mech kind of felt like desperate at best, and before that, it's almost like he got really tired. Like, best way I can describe it is it felt like he got tired, you know? Like he sprinted at the start of the race, whereas Nerchio was pacing himself. So like uThermal had such a good, very strong, like these guys went back and back and back and back, and then just kind of started falling off towards the end of the series here.
I agree. That is a kind of an accurate little imagery right there. But Nerchio gotta be a little careful. Getting his roaches focus fired. He should have enough roaches if queens were here, but since the queens weren't, he needs to need a couple more.
This focus fire has been really fantastic.
Yeah, nice.
Alright, so he gets some good kills. He flies up over the main. Unfortunately, because the queen is full, there's actually nothing here. And he starts centering before all the marines are unloaded, so it actually stops some of them from getting unloaded. A little bit awkward, but here's that cliff face dynamic. I actually really like the spore crawler coming down for this too, to help shoot down those medevacs.
Yeah, that's gonna be helpful. He just never goes for many queens, and of course 2 have already died, so. I like that move. Might need a third spore crawler at the third, or that was a natural. But you know where I meant. uThermal didn't really abuse like the backside of the natural from Nerchio like we thought. It's still an option that is there if you really wanted to try. Just pick up your units, go over there, siege up your tank, have a good time. But he's having such a better time trying to drop everywhere.
Yeah,
What's he gonna do?
I mean, doing mass drops, out multitasking, etc. Like, go for it, especially if you're good at it, right? But I really thought the first time we saw this map, like, first thoughts are tanks behind me on the low ground. There's just no way for Zerg to run around to this. They have to go all the way over to their main, then down here, then around. Like, there's just so many ways to abuse the terrain on it, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit sad uThermal isn't. I think back to players like MMA who are so quick to abuse things like that, but regardless, looks like he will finally realize there's maybe a bit of a back spot to go through, at least if for no other reason than to fly. As you had pointed out before, no one's really gonna have overlords over there. You're unlikely to scout that direction.
Yeah, Nerchio managed to find one spot that it has high ground, and that's the left side of the scout right now, so it's a little funny. These overlords are going to be able to see the drops coming into the main base, and unfortunately there's not many other ways for Nerchio to deal with that, because you'd have to spread creep over there and put spore crawlers, and I just don't see that happening. So he's just going to have to be on top of his reactions and mini-map awareness. He's fallen behind quite a bit this game, in upgrades, by the way. I mean, uThermal started his pretty quickly, but also Nerchio usually at least has his +1 carapace a little bit farther along. I don't know what the queen is doing there.
Yeah, I was going to say, no clue what she was doing out there.
Scouting. But this is like going to be really good, because even if Nerchio tries to get a hive, uThermal is going to have his 2-2 timing so perfect, basically. So it'll be a really good push. So I'm already a little worried for Nerchio, who is still having trouble dealing with all these drops.
Yeah, doubles unload on the right side. Couple roaches, couple ravagers here to respond, but it's not really going to be enough. 1-1 finish up is going to be so good for this, as you pointed out. Like, he's just not able to keep up on upgrades, so these Marines are just going to run away with so much. While this goes on, Liberties head over to the main, and Nerchio, like, he's got a lot of army supply, but it doesn't feel like it. Like, where is it?
It's roaches, man. They look sucky when they're all apart.
Yeah. I mean, spread them out too much, spread them out too thin, becomes a problem.
Yeah. These Liberators were not taken care of, and I think one of the crossbows even missed, so that's a double now.
Yeah, you know, the worst part of that too is like it's going to keep picking off larvae, so this actually just starts killing Nerchio's production on top of all this. Looks like the medevacs got caught though, so ooh, that's a bit unfortunate.
uThermal's kind of readying up his main push though, I think, as 2-2 is finishing here. And he might just stop with the drops anyway. He's adding on more barracks, he's really going to push hard with this. And Nerchio's kind of at the same spot of creep that he was before, that the middle path, again, not really being the focus of getting cleaned up. But uThermal just scanned the army, saw it wasn't that great, and didn't even care, really, that there was creep spread. Which might happen again here. It would be good of him to clean that up, though. And that's what he's going to try and do now. 2 Marines, go!
I mean,
Get the live first. Nice.
To get the job done.
They did, yeah. Very well.
All right, so while this goes on, Nerchio, all things considered for his tech, quote unquote, as far as upgrades go, his other side of the tech is advancing rather nicely. He's moving towards hive tech. I guess thinking about those ultras, but that dessert might kill him. He's got to eat his dinner.
Yeah, these soldiers just aren't that. I mean, they're not going to be upgraded. They're coming out kind of late. Again, for like some of the other games you've seen from Nerchio. And uThermal has this very nicely set up 2-2 push with 3 tanks. It's going to be pretty difficult for Nerchio to hold. I also don't even understand. Like, the other expansions have been weird, but this one is just blowing my mind for real. I don't know what he was thinking he was going to get away with that one. I mean, the 4th base is still something he could take, even if he's almost been dropping him. Anyway, 3 bases, only really on Roach Ravager, 2 Infestors. Like, is that really going to be enough? It's not quite the stim to win the last time they played on this map. Was close to it.
I like the leapfrog of the tanks, but there's also just a lot of medevacs. Nerchio's coming with a big surround, though, from all sides. Right side gets caught with the fungals. He pushes through with the Marines, though, and tries to focus down on top of the Ravagers, so they don't get the corrosive out of the tanks so easily. This gives the tanks a lot more shots to fire, but there's still just so many Roaches and so many Ravagers coming out of Nerchio. Consolidating on the right side, Marauders and Marines stimming for their lives, but he's going to have to pick up, but he's going to have to back away.
Yeah. Without that surround, I'm pretty sure Nerchio would have just died right there.
Yeah, that's surround. Well, first off, the surround was really sick to see him set up in the first place, but I'm also really impressed that uThermal was able to sort of collect himself on the right side towards the end of it and not end up losing everything. Also, his choice to dive in and focus on the Ravagers, allowing him to get those tanks off, super impressive.
Yeah. So while this might have been time for Nerchio to get to Ultralisk, it took away all of his bank, so he still can't get to Ultralisk. In fact, still no Ultralisk Cavern on the way. He's at least going to have +2 Carapace finishing up. There is still a goal to get to. But uThermal has, like, really powerful rally. You know, he got those extra 3 barracks on a 4th base. Eventually, his army might just win out against Nerchio's. Now, he's not getting 3-3, which is a big, usually a big issue in TvZ. It might be okay with Marauders and Medevacs. Still trumping Roaches.
I wonder what 7 Marauder production would look like right now.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta imagine, but Marines also do bring a considerable amount of damage to this, considering there's no ban links, there's nothing really push them off. Both players trading out best they can. uThermal's looking so good, though. Nerchio's starting to just feel the burn. This attack has not been stopped, and it's been constant rallies through the middle of the map. It looks like he has a message for the map makers at the end of it. I wonder if Nerchio knows that this was made by the guy who made Dawson Station.
Maybe that's why I said anymore.
Ugh. All right, guys. So that's gonna wrap it up. That's $600 going to Nerchio, $400 to uThermal, plus the $300 he won beforehand. So a surprisingly close payout, but a very one-sided series without a doubt. Very nicely done, though. And I think the 4th win actually means a lot too. In terms of just like, again, these guys had that history of playing before. This match a year ago between them type thing. I will say pro opinion, though, in general has been pretty negative towards a lot of the maps in the map pool. I don't know how you guys, the fans, have received a lot of this. I will say there's at least 5 out of these 15 I would totally be okay with on the ladder. But some of them, just like, I swear to God, I will quit StarCraft if, like, that Guggenheim map makes it to the map pool. Like, that was just a terrible idea for a map. And it was poorly executed. And, like, some of them I'm really passionately against. But, again, some of them turned out pretty nicely. I'm like really indifferent about Hunger Game. It kind of won me over a little bit through entertainment factor, but I imagine it's probably no fun to play on. Wind Waker, Paradise Lost, like some of these more standard, I'm using air quotes here, standard maps, I think won me over from this map pool. I don't know.
I think Kara's Passage, I actually really enjoy that map on the map.
Actually, yeah, I forgot about that one. That was another really good one. I just remember it threw me off so weird with the 2 different paths on the top and the bottom being so different. And the map doesn't look symmetrical at a glance, but the other part of it too is like, because this map also features it, the lower yield bases, like you've got the smaller gas, the less mineral patches. I really don't know how that's going to play out. If Blizzard really wants to push things that direction, then maybe that'll be cool, but I feel like it's got to be all or nothing, right? Like if that's going to be the only map that has like less minerals on your 3rd, I feel like that would actually make it a big candidate to be vetoed, just because like who wants to play on a stupid economy map? Yeah. But if all the maps in the map pool featured like only 6 mineral patches at the 3rd, that'd be very different. I don't know what direction they want to take it, guys. I have no extra inside information. Like for you guys tuning in, like I don't know how this is voted on. I don't know the judges. I don't know Blizzard's point of view and opinions. All I know is how to make really fun tournaments of StarCraft 2, and we did that with this. So I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I do want to just once again though, It's not going to be today. It's not going to be tomorrow. Whenever they come out with the finalists for the map pool, there's going to be two awkward things that might go hand in hand with it. One is a lot of people might not agree with the map that wins. It might be a great map that wins. We don't know yet. But the point is, Blizzard doesn't necessarily take the maps that performed well or won the map contest to put in the ladder pool. The best way to try and actually influence what goes in the ladder pool is to have a voice and be vocal about it. A lot of the times, some of the dumbest things get through on Reddit because it's the quote-unquote vocal minority that gets out there. I really want this to be the vocal majority, though. Like, if a lot of us agree that the map was no good, we really need to speak out about it. Because, again, I'll tell you guys right now, I love Blizzard. They do so much good stuff. They support so much like of what BaseTradeTV does and what a lot of other people do. But it's insane and infuriates me, but I guess it's how the world works, that they will be more inclined to look at a top Reddit thread than listen to like what Rifkin would have to say type thing. So again, if it comes down to it, we really do need to band together as a community to make sure this next map pool doesn't suck, because this one totally did. I've actually played like 10 games I think this season. I've really not enjoyed it. I've hated all these maps.
I'm not that extreme on it, but I get your sentiment. I told the players too, because the players were actually chatting quite a bit about what could be changed and what maps are good or not. Told them that they should make sure to say it in a public fashion. Maybe their tweet will get links to Reddits, and then it'll start the whole conversation. Well,
actually, just to give them some prior, I guess, shout-outs. I don't think they've done it yet, but I know BCQD and Lambo have both mentioned wanting to voice some opinions out there. I think they got invited to like a Skype group, so I'm going to be really sad if instead of making like a public video for fans to see, they just like privately tell their thoughts and opinions. But I do hope pros would speak out about some of the maps. Not like, again, I don't want to make it sound like a negative thing. Like, there's a lot of positives that came out of this map contest, but there's also a lot of negatives. So I would really love, whether it's negative or positive, to get some pro feedback on it so the fans can be perhaps more decided or see just how different it is. Like maybe the pros actually loved the maps that didn't get voted in by public opinion for this top 10 finals. I don't know.
Yeah.
But all right, that will wrap things up. So I'm gonna have to I guess talk to Blizzard about when to pay the players. Again, I want to make this very clear so everyone here knows, because it's gonna get asked over the next couple days. This was Blizzard sponsored, so Blizzard's the one footing the bill for this. They're paying the players. They're doing it through us, but until we get the money, I can't pay the players. But we got the Koreans to pay, we got the foreigners to pay, we got the final match here today to pay. This was a really great experiment. It took up a week of our time, which was a little bit rough, but I really enjoyed it. I'm glad we did it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. So thank you all so much for watching today. We're gonna be back tomorrow with a Corsair Cup, and then we kind of go on this like forced week-long break. I think the Alima League's still happening. That might be the only exception.
That has been pushed to the Wednesday, but yeah, it's still happening.
Yeah, it's like a weekly instead of the monthly now or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I Am Katowice is going to eat up a lot of time, and it's sad too, because like while we sit here and we've got time and money and possibilities on our hands, all the players are going to be in Katowice, so there's nobody to play in anything.
Yeah.
So we may, I was joking earlier about a Civ stream, but like we may actually just try and stream something else for the week. I mean, it's not gonna be try hard, it's gonna be super casual, but it will just be like, so we're not dead for a week. Either way though, I hope you guys will enjoy things while we are offline, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Corsair Cup. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a good day. Bye bye.